Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Song Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones, and tonight we'll have an interesting conversation. Now, again, for those who want to participate, I've already put the links up in the channel. If you want to cash at me, the cash app is $LEJ01021965. That's the banner going across, or we call it the ticker, if you want to donate. Now, I'm not going to ask for donations. That's up to your discretion. But tonight's conversation is going to be something that's going to be important to me. And it's going to be important to me because for the last few months or years, but I'm going to say a few months, we've always had these special months. In February, we have Black History Month. In March, I believe it was Single Parents Month or Single Parents Day, is in nobody knows about it, but it's in March, or we call it Women's Month. Now in June, I didn't even know about it until I saw a commercial that struck me a week ago. And it's Pride Month. Now, I want to say this. I don't have anything against the alphabet community. But keep the monstrosity away from children. Now, I understand in the alphabet community that they want respect. Respect is something you got to earn. You want equality. Well, one word I'm getting tired of is equality. In this life, there is no such thing as equality. It doesn't exist. Now, equal opportunity, that does exist. Shout out to you, Laughing Dog, in the building. Now, respect, tolerance. Now, I will say this to the alphabet community out there. I mean, they have a nice, colorful flag. They even added purple to their flag. But what is Pride Month? Now, I know there was a commercial out where this white lady on it, she called herself queer, and she says, say gay. Well, I'm going to put it to you like this. Here on my channel, we talk a lot about Black people. We talk about the ups and downs that Black people have gone through. But one thing I will say about African American people, if it weren't for African American people, all these other minorities wouldn't be where they are. And that's a fact. I mean, if you think about it, the modern feminist movement piggyback off of the African American movement. You look at all these other minorities, Hispanics, the Asians, the Arabs, they piggyback off of the African American movement. But the difference is those other minorities still kept their culture, while African Americans had their culture stripped from them. Now, again, this video is not anything about race. Salute, Angry Snowman. We want you to come up on the panel. You can click that link in a few to come up here because you're a good candidate to talk about this Pride Month. But moving on. When I look at Pride Month, I look at a very small minority community. Now, of course, when President Obama, 44, was at the helm, he relished the alphabet community. He helped make the alphabet community a strong force. Now, again, I don't have anything toward the alphabet community because there's some good people in the alphabet community. But one thing that's not explained to me is what is Pride Month? Now, I know in the bigger cities, New York, Chicago, LA, they used to have what they call parades. And some of the individuals who participated in the parade were doing some senseless acts out in the open. Now, there was a choir from San Francisco, and shout out to Brother Nate. He played it on this channel. We're coming for your children. There was also an act that took place in California at an Asian sauna where this man came in, penis swinging. He thought he was a woman, but he was in a spa in front of women and children. And what happened? The spa was the one in trouble. Antifa came after the spa. We also look at what happened in Fairfax, Virginia. Now, again, I don't have anything toward the alphabet community. But if you want tolerance from us who disagree with your lifestyle, then you're going to have to tolerate the pushback that we give you. Now, I understand you want pride. I understand you want trust. Shout out to Men's Daily. I understand what a number of individuals from the alphabet community want. Heck, I want $1 million. Can I get $1 million? It won't happen overnight. But if I work hard enough, I can get it. Now, some people who are part of the alphabet community are also part of the white race, the black race, the Asian race. And one of the problems I have with that is individuals within the alphabet community, they're using two movements. I mean, affirmative action, of course, is something that benefits Caucasian women the most. And the reason why it benefits them is because Caucasian women did not want to be below black men. So that's why they got a hand up with the affirmative action. Then African American women who are a double minority. Now, if you are black or brown or yellow, you not only fit one minority, two minorities, but you fit three minorities. Now, when we talk about pride, what is the alphabet community? What are they seeking? I mean, they've already gotten their marriage. They want to have families. Now, I'm not saying that they can't raise children, but they can't produce children. But when it comes to this community, do they want to integrate into society? Are they looking for special rights? Are they looking to have the same rights as everybody else? Because they do. And I say this because if I have a preference, am I going to let everybody know what my preference is? No. Now, is sexual orientation like being black or Asian? Is there any scientific proof that you're born the way you are? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. Now, did some of the individuals become this way because they were molested as children? Because I know with the L's out of the LGBTQ community, a number of them have a strong hatred for men. And usually your misandry comes from those people. In fact, the feminists are tied with the lesbians because a number of feminists are lesbian. Now, again, I don't have anything toward the alphabet community because there are good people in the alphabet community. But just like I would say to black people, you good people got to check the bad people in your community. If you want tolerance, because it's not up to me to hold my tongue because you make up less than 1% of a minority in this country. Shout out to Men's Daily. Dave Chappelle on his Netflix community. Let me put my glasses on. Spoke the strong truth about the alphabet community and they couldn't accept the truth. They tried to impose the cancel culture crap and it didn't work. Well, that's a fact. Laughing Dog said all the secret lives are on it, MDA. And that's the thing as well with the alphabet community. Whenever they don't hear something that is agreeable to them, just like everybody else, they want to run and jump and get the cancel culture. Now, when you do that, are you going to get my respect? Hell no, you're not. Brother Men's Daily, the Bible, and I'm going to get into the Bible as well because there was somebody on Reg's channel who said the Bible was outdated. I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, for the individuals of the LGBTQ community, do you all believe in God? Because the Bible does say what you're doing is a sin. Now, I do believe we're all God's children. That's just my belief. But you all have a Pride Month. Some of you are trying to recruit children into your lifestyle. Now, there's something else that I want to tell, particularly the men out there who are in the gay lifestyle. There's something out there called monkeypox. I heard that. Just like the AIDS virus. Now, you don't hear too much of HIV anymore, but in the 80s, you had people like Rock Hudson, Jermaine Stewart, a singer by the name of Sylvester, Studio 54. Well, individuals that were into that lifestyle have passed away because of HIV. And of course, when you're in jail, guys get horny in jail. So there are no women out there. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to find a weak guy and, one thing leads to another. I'm not going to get into that. But you know what I'm talking about. But having pride, what does it mean, Pride Month? I mean, I already know Black History Month. We look at everything that blacks have done through history, and it's been well documented. But what has the alphabet community done to deserve a Pride Month? I don't see any accomplishments. Okay, you got your marriage, the same sex marriage, but have you really invented anything that we could all use? I mean, for the most part, the modern feminist movement, the Pride Month that you all have, just piggybacked off of the civil rights movement. Unfortunately, the African Americans, they drove the wrong way with the civil rights movement. Instead of integration, they should have went for equality and kept building their own economy where black people would have more power. But now I will say this about the alphabet community. When President Obama was in office, they drove it home because they had an agenda. They were well organized and well funded. That's how you get your issue out there in politics. Shout out to you, brother. Laughing Dog. I'll be on till about 9:30, 10. But getting back to the Pride Month, there's nothing wrong with being prideful. It's nothing wrong with sticking to your beliefs. But I believe that if somebody disagrees with your lifestyle, they should have a chance to voice it without being canceled. And I'm not putting politics into play. And shout out to brother Angry Snowman because he and I talked behind the scenes about where we really stand in life. And most of us have a little bit of progressive views and conservative views. And, my views are generally, I believe in family. I believe in lower taxes, less government. Now, on the other side, for the social views, I believe man is the head. I believe in traditional values. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm against the alphabet community. I'm against them when they start including children into their movement. And that plus, I'm going to say this, the plus is the next letter. And the next letter coming down the chain here is the P. You have groups like NAMLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association. That's very, very problematic to me because children are already sexualized. Again, children are already sexualized. They see a lot of it on TV. I mean, it's been beaten to their head. I agree with traditional values as well. Thank you, brother. Traditional values work. And, it's funny because I did a video a long time ago about the alphabet community. And here's something you need to check out if you're following the detail. What's going on, brother Nate? Shout out to you. And shout out to brother Nate because brother Nate had a cheerleader. The cheerleader was a black man who was very feminine, called himself trans. And that's what actually got me to do this Pride Month. And for black men, many of them relish being effeminate. Are some of you black men out here celebrating Pride Month? Are some of you sisters celebrating Pride Month? I know looking in the Chi, at the Chi, you had a transsexual, you had two lesbian affairs on that show. In fact, the person named Lena Waithe, who created the show, is 100% lesbian. Now, she created a good season series. I don't agree with her lifestyle. And I know that some individuals who are part of the LGBTQ community or the alphabet community, they can be very hostile themselves, especially when you talk about them. But just like being here on YouTube, everybody gets critiqued. I've been critiqued. I don't care if people like me or not. I'm not asking for people's donations. I tell them that's up to your discretion. But what I am going to do is put out issues that individuals don't talk about. And I came up with this issue because it is very important. And again, shout out to Brother Nate. He had that song out, We're Coming for Your Children. And that song is ringing in my head right now. And I'm looking at the flag that the alphabet community has created. But I'm going back to we're coming for your children. Why are you coming for the children? I already know why you're coming for the children. You're coming for the children the same way that a cowardly shooter goes up into a grocery store, goes into a church, and shoots unarmed people who can't defend themselves. Well, children don't know any better. So what you're doing, you're coming to give the children all of your propaganda so they can come join your forces. And to me, that's a sick behavior. And then you have California. They have something where they want individuals who are 10 years apart. Like, say if a man's 24, well, he can go ahead and have sex with somebody 14 years old. That's sick. That's demonic behavior. Men's Daily, I believe a lot of this alphabet stuff is the result of the overwhelming number of single mothers bringing these people up to be that way and the father not helping to raise the child. You know, that's part of it. That is part of it. That is definitely it is. And I know this because I watch television, and television promotes all this. I have never seen two women or two men get involved in sexual rendezvous on TV until the past 10 years. Now, again, I'm not making any judgments here. But I just need to know, why do we need another month for another minority? Now, I can understand the African Americans, and I want everybody to get the likes up. Please get the likes up. Get me to 2,100 subscribers. I may lose some subscribers because this content is deep, but that's okay. Just continue to get the likes up on this video because this is important information that I'm passing out. I'm educating people. And I just need a question answered. Why do we need another month for another minority? Angry Snowman says the emasculation of men and boys is a huge part of this. Men are the biggest part of the alphabet community. That's a fact. You know, me and Brother Angry Snowman talked about some of these issues. And as much as we blame women, I have to set that aside. I got to blame a number of men. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Leon? How you doing that, sir?
I'm piggybacking off that trans that you had last night. If you saw my thumbnail, what's going on? Why do these individuals need a Pride Month? What have they done to earn it? They're asking for love, respect, tolerance. But to me, they haven't even earned my respect. And they're forcing their lifestyles on everybody else. Now, I don't have anything against what they do. For anybody out there who lives this lifestyle, but for you all coming for the children, the song you played on your channel, Brother Nate, that's repulsive to me. What say you?
How can you have pride in something God says is an abomination? What pride is there to have in this? If that's what you do, that's your business. As long as you're doing it with a consenting adult, I want to know as little about it as humanly possible. Just go do what you do. But it's never just been about them being free to love who they want to love. They can't produce themselves like normal human beings do. If you want more black people, black men have to sleep with black women. If you want more Southeast Pacificers, they have to sleep together and make children. The LMNOP community can't do that. The only way to ensure the creation of those types of people is to molest children. These people are in favor of a way of life brought about oftentimes by the molestation of a child. That's a fact. They can't, there's no way to guarantee genetically that you're going to produce this type of person. But if
that's true.
And molest children, you will have a whole bevy of LMNOP folks that you can just run all your perversions and madness through.
And you know that picture you showed me last night?
Yeah.
Stuck in my head, brother. And then it made me go back and think about what else has taken place. They didn't even catch the trans individual in Fairfax, Virginia, who raped a 15-year-old in the bathroom. The father went to take up for his daughter. He gets arrested. Look what happened at the spa in California.
I did a story on a guy that sexually violated a girl, a mentally ill man who says he's a woman, and went into the it wasn't Wendy's. It was Denny's. Went into the Denny's bathroom, 10-year-old girl in there, choked her with one hand, shoved his hand down her pants with the other. I'm telling you, man.
But they want a Pride Month. I don't get that, Nate. Let me get to the chat here. Latin Patriot says, you heard about California. I believe you had this up there, brother Nate. SB 145.
Yes.
14-year-olds and up to 18 can have sexual relationship with 10 years older without having to get in trouble for sex offenders. That right there, in my humble opinion, I will never visit California just for that, because they're creating some abomination.
I can never go to another Panthers game again. You know, I live close to Charlotte. I will never go to a Panthers game.
Not with that. Not with what I saw last night, brother.
No.
And as much as I like football, I don't know, man. That right there has turned me off from the NFL. It's already turned me off that the NFL players are wearing
BLM shit. Yeah.
And basketball. I'm not even watching basketball. I mean, I watch college basketball. That's it. Maybe baseball. But when they start getting into this cancer culture stuff, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I'm a sports fanatic. But it's that I had to bring this up. And welcome Angry Snowman to the panel as well. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, what's up, man? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Right on. Nah, look, man, the truth of the matter is most adults don't give a shit what another adult's doing until it involves a child.
That's
if
right.
If this was about pride and being able to feel, proud in your own skin, then these people wouldn't feel no need to try to indoctrinate our children into this shit. I mean, let's be realistic about it. There's no reason for a pride parade during Pride Month to be so perverse that normal people just don't even feel comfortable being around it and watching it.
Right. And now, brother Nate, you from New York.
Yes,
You
sir.
probably remember some of this stuff because I was at a St. Patrick's Day parade back in 1980. And that's when this stuff really came. It was really small. It wasn't as bad, but I've actually heard that in some of those cities, I know in Chicago, they had one about 2016, and there was some individuals doing some
They've had all
rude acts.
the men will be wearing assless chaps with their boyfriend. There's been incidents of them having oral sex right in the middle of the parade.
Yes.
Yes, yes, true.
And if the whole parade was about trying to get the community to see them for being real people, then you wouldn't be going out of your way to do perverse sexual acts and forcing people of the community to watch something they don't feel comfortable watching.
I wish they knew how dangerous this is for them. And there are some that do. There are some that do. But this is they're putting their lives at risk. I'll just say that. They are really putting their lives at risk, man.
Well, let's be real about this, brother Nate. The truth of the matter is let's take this all the way down to the root of where it is now, where they're trying to put it in schools. There is no reason for an adult teacher to sit and share her sexuality with a child that's in elementary school. None at all.
I think, Nick, you brought that up on your panel a while back.
Yeah, what's crazy, 411, is when my first channel started back in March of 2021, man, I was on a roll, man. My first stream did over 1,000 views. I was getting, a couple of months in, I was getting over 100 listeners. And then I did a stream, Little Big Nate versus the Luciferian Left. And I went in on all this Transformer, the strippers. I played videos. And ever since then, until they took my first channel, I could barely get 100 people to come see my channel. I'm serious, man. You pay a price for standing up for children, for natural law, for what's right. They make you pay a price. Goddamn, we get our channel sanctioned, but Lil Nas X can simulate sex with a devil in his music video.
Isn't that something?
Amazing, man.
I mean,
let's be realistic about it for a second. If there was nothing wrong with it, why would they be going out of their way to hide it from parents and schools?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Well, no, the parents just aren't advanced enough. They're not progressive enough. They haven't caught up to just how, rightly minded the teachers are. It's just a matter of time. And you are leaving your children with these filthy animals for 8-9 hours a day.
Yeah.
These perverts. Dude, this makes me so angry. Oh my God.
Well, yeah, that one you showed me last night, brother Nate, and you got a lot of other individuals out there who are, we used to think it was just the girls that got raped, but you got some individuals out there raping boys too. It's all over. And then shout out to Men's Daily. He said, don't forget about the trans guy that did time in a woman's prison and got a woman pregnant.
Got a goddamn CO pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget about that story that Nate was talking about that guy that did that shit in Denny's.
Yes.
He ended up getting put in a juvenile correction facility, even though he was an adult when he was charged with his crimes.
Yeah, sending him to a girls' juvenile correction facility. A 26-year-old man. They wouldn't try him as an adult. And I wonder, that case was a couple of years ago. I wonder if Ketanji Jackson Brown adjudicated that case. You
never know, because I looked at her record. She let some of these individuals go.
The lowest possible sentence, 411.
But because she was
supposed to even speak for women when she can't even give a directive for what a woman is.
This is madness. This is absolute madness, dude.
Like you're saying, it is madness. It says a lot for the judicial system that they're going to put a fucking child predator in a child facility with the very people that he preys upon as punishment. That was the man's punishment, to get locked in a building with more fucking people to prey on.
Absolutely.
And, you know, going back to Fairfax, they still haven't caught the guy. They said they transferred that individual to another school. Now, to me, the father, he gets arrested for taking up for his daughter.
He should get a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what he should get. We should march him around our community on our shoulders, because that's exactly what a man is supposed to do. And shout out to my man, God, what's his name? The UFC heavyweight.
Oh yeah. The UFC, yes.
The UFC heavyweight. God, what's his? Hold on.
I forgot his name was.
Yeah, me too. Hold on a sec.
Oh yeah. He stuck up. And then that idiot who tackled Dave Chappelle on stage for his belief. That's crazy.
Cain Velasquez. Salute to brother Cain Velasquez, man. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Free Cain Velasquez, man.
Gerald 28 says the Alphabet Group has married themselves to black people led by the BW, of course. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting, man.
You know, all this, like I said, brothers, there's this show on called The Chi. It was created by a woman, Lena Waithe, who's from Chicago. She looks like a stud. But if these individuals, and I'm not look, what they do, they're adults. Do what you want in the bedroom. Don't include children. But how come a number of them always imitate a heterosexual couple? I said this years ago. If you think about it, you look at Wanda Sykes, and then we talk about the swirling. Well, Wanda Sykes, Robin Roberts, and I believe there was another one out there, Don Lemon. Guess what? They're not with their own either.
Raven Simone, the light-skinned girl from the Cosby Show. Yeah.
Yes. So, but
your favorite mayor. Don't forget your favorite mayor now.
No, not my Beetlejuice. Yeah. Out of Chicago.
Yes,
but see, these are individuals out here that want that Pride Month, but I don't see why they deserve a Pride Month, because for the most part, these are the individuals that are really destroying civilization. It's harsh, but okay, I'm not saying that all of them are bad, but just like I would say to the ABW, the good ones out there, well, you look bad when you don't check the bad ones.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the same.
Go ahead. I think we have a homosexual supremacist problem in this fucking country.
Homosexual supremacy.
You know what? I never thought about that.
Oh my God! Stop it! Stop
it. No, but that is true, because that's why if we say something about them, they want to cancel us. You think about it.
Think about this. They live their lives in opposition to their biological design. This is a way of life replete with suicide, suicide attempts, rampant drug abuse, and hundreds of sexual partners. The average homosexual has hundreds of sexual partners from their lifestyle. Hundreds. I get a new company car like every 75,000 miles.
Yes.
And the car has XM radio for the first 6 months. So I'm listening to XM, listening to Howard Stern. Howard Stern has a correspondent named Wolfie, right? Wolfie goes to these insane ass festivals and like interviews these crazy people. So he went to, I cannot remember the name of the festival, but I think it was the Bear and Chipmunk Festival or something like that. And it was a hotel completely taken over by homosexuals. And he went around interviewing them. And he asked every guy the same question. Said, how many, if the festival was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He got there Saturday and he was asking all these different guys, how many guys have you slept with? How many guys have you slept with since you got here? well, I slept with 15 guys last night. I'm probably going to end up sleeping with 20 or 25 guys tonight. Almost every guy gave that response. It is disgusting.
Well,
And then Wolfie asked him about how far their intimate partners can shove their fists into their backside. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
wow.
And the guys were like, "Oh yeah, last night this guy got his hand almost up to his elbow." I swear to you,
Wow.
I'm listening to this shit like, are they serious? These are human beings doing this? Oh my God, dude!
Well, I know they caught. It was a black man who was running for governor against DeSantis. They caught him with somebody. He used to be the mayor of Tallahassee, Florida. He was.
Oh yeah, the black congressman. Yeah, he was running for governor.
He was running for governor.
He was running for governor. Yeah.
And they, they found him.
Drugs, all sorts of weird shit in the room. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. It's this.
Gerald 28 says what black people don't understand is that they turn on them once they achieve their agenda, just pawns in a game. Sigma says not only is the Bible outdated, it's simply not the word of God. And that's also part of this stream too, because I go from one to another and we have open topics. But with this big alphabet agenda going on, how is it really affecting the culture of this country? Because
oh my God, we don't know what reality is anymore.
No, we don't. We lost.
We don't. Anything, you can literally say that you're anything, and people are not to argue with you, except a heterosexual male. Nope, don't go telling anybody that you're that. Yes.
Still, man. Yeah, it's like everything is against heterosexuals. If you're a man.
And what benefit is to advocate for these people? These people have insane rates of drug abuse, suicide attempts. You know what Grindr is, 411?
No, what's that?
Grindr is the homosexual Tinder. Tinder, the dating app.
Okay.
Grindr is the gay version of Tinder. Do you know what most of the transactions on Tinder are?
Uh-oh, what are they?
Gay men exchanging sex for drugs.
That sounds like Craigslist. Because
that's all they do on Grindr. Gay men exchanging sex for drugs.
But it's funny that you mentioned that, Nate, because when they had Craigslist out, and this is the truth, when I went through it, do you know Craigslist had maybe a few pages of women seeking women, but of men seeking men, they were over 2,500 ads. Men seeking men. Yeah. And it's in the chat, but Latin Patriot left the LA Times story in there. If anybody wants to look that up, talking about Gavin Newsom and the alphabet's rights there. The alphabet, I call them the alphabet people or the LGBTQ community. And then Sigma says the first page of the Bible, it gives a big hint, but nobody pays attention. Now we'll get into the Bible as well, because all this is really connected. And like I say, Brother Nate, we put this information out, and I just believe that people are so warped in this country. They're really afraid to be like us, to really stand for the truth. They have to go along to get along because they're cowards. They're sheep. And the more sheep we have, the more meat we have to eat too, because they're going straight to the slaughterhouse. They don't have their own minds. And I know you've explained it on your own show. Angry Snowman has explained it on his show, and a number of other people. Let's get the likes up, folks. And I did drop the link for anybody else that wants to come up there, because we're talking about this. We're really focusing on this Pride Month. And Brother Nate, I didn't even know what Pride Month was until I saw a commercial about it.
My sister is a huge advocate for these people. She lives in Virginia. She's been to Pride marches. And now she's a 52-year-old woman, completely alone, no children, no man, no prospects for men. She's morbidly obese. And she spent her whole life running her fucking mouth on Facebook about the injustices of these people instead of focusing on herself, getting the weight off or never gaining it to begin with, so she could end up with a man and a family. And my sister was gorgeous. I mean, she was beautiful. In high school, all the dudes tried to holler at her, but she is a committed leftist. I don't know about feminist, but she's a committed leftist, man. And you look at her Facebook, just every other post, sometime until like I really started going in on these people. I've been banned like 6 times in a year on Facebook. It's insane.
Well, here's something, and shout out to Latin Patriot. He talks about what happened in Sacramento. Discrimination against LGBTQ people and the sex crime convictions will be outlawed under a new signed law by Governor Gavin Newsom late Friday. Now, this was maybe a few months ago or so, but this could happen all over the country. So
well, it'll never happen in our states.
Indianans, right? Yeah, yes.
I would.
Well, you ever notice
lose his life if he tried to pass some shit like that?
Go ahead, Brother Angry Snowman.
You ever notice with these quote unquote months that they delegate to specific groups that the only thing that they're celebrating is debauchery? Where's the family pride month? Where's the pride in having a nuclear family, and where's the pride in married men and women's month? Where's that at? Where's the month for couples that have stayed married and are raising their kids together month? Where's that? How come we don't celebrate anything that actually is of actual real value and actually brings real legitimacy to community? And why do we only celebrate debauchery and bullcrap?
Well, we celebrate debauchery and bullcrap because it's actually funneling money to the Democratic Party.
Absolutely. I mean, people they were kind of shocked, and of course, there's these weak, effeminate Negro boys who would be mad when I first started coming on panels. I told everyone, I said, the Democrat Party is a cesspool of pedos and freaks. I said, we have no business. I don't promote the Republican Party, but there is no conceivable way that you can be in this space and justify voting Democrat. If you vote Democrat, you are a feminist. You are a gynocrat. That's exactly what you are when you vote Democrat. You are promoting and subsidizing all this filth. And I gotta say it, I was right. I'm sorry. My God, dude. I tried to warn folks, man. I said, you vote for Biden, dude. You are out of your mind. This guy he doesn't have the cognitive abilities to run his own life anymore, let alone a country.
Well, absolutely. Well, absolutely. Now, Mr. Snowman says the only thing they're celebrating is capitalism. Companies use these pride months for monetary gain. Otherwise, they wouldn't be as big of a deal as they are. Well, that's true, because a lot of these corporations are also giving money to the Democratic Party. They are. It's it's a big money grab out here, and we all know it. But the problem is, it's a cesspool of destruction for the culture. And I know some of us read the Bible, and I'm gonna connect this to the Bible. What do you all think about the Bible? Is the Bible outdated? Or, I mean, we all have different interpretations of the Bible. There's the King James Version. There's information that didn't get into the Bible. I've also heard that men wrote the Bible, but why do we still use the Bible today?
Well, I don't think it's outdated. I think it's misinterpreted. King James commissioned, from what I understand, Shakespeare to help take it out of its original tongue. And there's all sorts of allegories and hidden meanings in the things that are said. And a lot of people don't understand it. And it's very easy to misuse religious text for whatever you want to use it for.
Well,
And
yeah,
people are sheep, and sheep are easy to lead in the wrong direction, difficult to lead in the right direction. So,
because right now we're supposed to be going by the New Testament, where for the most part, I know the Hebrews, if I'm not mistaken, they go by the Torah, which they're the first 5 books of
mhm.
the Bible. Let me see: Genesis, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, and Exodus. They're the first 5 books, and they were of Moses, I believe.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the Bible, you're right, brother Nate. They do misuse it, but in the black churches, if it's been misused, let's talk about the ABW. Why does the ABW believe that she's so holy? But on the other hand, she believes in feminism in the LGBTQ community. Not all, but a number or a percentage of them do. And they hide behind church.
I
And
mean, what's in church today but the ABW and a lot of Fruit Loop men, and also a lot of defeated, beat down men? I can't imagine a man wanting to go to church in this current climate and environment. You wouldn't rather be at home watching football? Really?
well,
You know?
you asked me that question, you know what answer you're going to get.
Yeah, they go to placate their wives. They go out of a sense of obligation, maybe. But again, your choir director is an elemental peer.
And you,
Your deacons are probably elemental peers. I heard Obama. What was Reverend Wright in Chicago?
Reverend Wright.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
goddamn
heard.
America.
This is
Yeah.
what I read, that there were 3 people that in November of '07 met their untimely demise. These 3 men, people broke into their home. Well, 2 of the people had their homes broken into, nothing stolen, and they were executed. And from what I understand, these 3 men were uh, intimate friends of the former president. And in November of '07, before he decided to run, um, these men had to be put down.
Mm,
So yeah,
yeah.
and it was pretty common practice in Chicago. Rahm Emanuel and Obama would go to the bathhouses, from what I understand. Yeah, it was a common knowledge that Obama
And
was a
I
fruit.
didn't even now. This is brand new information to me.
I wouldn't lie to you,
Well,
dog.
I believe you. However, um, is now Obama was big for the alphabet community, and Brother Sigma American said there are good lessons in the Bible, but it's not really God's word. And shout out to Samantha P. She's asking which version. Right now, we're just talking about the Bible, but if you want to put a spin on the version, basically we deal with the King James's version.
and don't forget Larry Sinclair. You've heard of Larry Sinclair, right?
I
411.
I have heard of Larry Sinclair.
Yes, sir. So Yeah, this is a lot deeper than we have time, and we may even want to go.
You might want to stretch this out on the year panel because, well, because I'm looking at the community. Well, Samantha, Sigma America said every version is the same. Well, there was a version a long time ago of the Bible. The language is dead. It was Latin. That's a dead language. We all know that. But what I'm doing is I'm connecting what I saw on the Shy, because what you just talked about, Little Nas X, Pride Month, and the Bible, because some of these individuals out there say they believe in God. But does God call this type of behavior an
He calls it an
abomination?
abomination, period.
Right.
Period.
So something has been lost in the sauce here.
Yeah. It's it just shows how far off course we are. I mean, thank God people are speaking up. Thank God there's challenges to a lot of this filth and madness that the left is producing. Matt Walsh just came out with his documentary, What is a Woman? Ben Shapiro has a company called Daily Wire. And I'm not a big fan of Ben Shapiro, but salute to him for creating a media organization and they produce movies, they produce documentaries. You know that there was a woman that was working on Mandalorian, and because she got canceled because she didn't want to do something that the producers wanted her to do. So they gave her a job in a movie, and she's got an executive producer credit and everything. So, and Matt Walsh produced a documentary called "What Is a Woman," and
Wow.
it's crazy. There's a transformer on there who is so upset about the push to make children get these sex change surgeries. He said it's $70,000 a pop, not to mention all the precursors and the cost for that, you know, the psychological testing and counseling and all the stuff that the child has to go through. And they're literally encouraging parents to do this. He said she said there's 5 hospitals that are doing this, encouraging these operations to parents for their children.
Wow.
Yeah, go check out Matt Walsh. There's all sorts of advertisements on the internet. Matt Walsh, and the company is Daily Wire. Check it out.
Samantha P says she prefers the Old Testament. Sigma American says, "Can I open the Bible right now, please, and look at the opening pages before I get to Genesis?" I don't know if I can do that on with StreamYards. I mean, I'll try. And let me get back to Isaiah exactly. And they're using the Bible to play with scripted prophecy. I'm going to get a Bible and open it up before I get to Genesis. Tommy Jean is doing that for me. The New Age.
Tommy Jean.
Yeah, she's all right. And if Latin is a dead language, then why is the USA legal terminology in Latin? You know what? I have to do more research on that, Latin Patriot, because for the most part, Latin was used in the Catholic Church, I believe. I believe it was. Got the Bible here. Got it right here. So before I get to the Old Testament, well, actually, the Old Testament starts off at Genesis. It does. It starts off at Genesis, brother Guy King, because there's really nothing else before that. It just lists the books of the Old Testament and the books of the New Testament, and this right here is the King James version right here that I am holding up, and it goes right into Genesis, and then from Genesis it goes into Exodus, and then from Exodus it goes into Leviticus, and then Okay, I'm getting some little assistance on that, audience. Prior to the Bible, see if I can answer this question. All right, thank you. Well, it actually goes into the messianic prophecies and their fulfillment. All verses of the Old Testament that refer to the coming of the Messiah are marked with a star. All verses in the New Testament that fulfill a messianic prophecy are also indicated by a star. The Gentiles shall come to the light, and the kings to the brightness of the risen. And then it looks like for these things were done, that the scripture be fulfilled, a bone of him shall not be broken. Brother Guy King says, in the preliminary pages before that, it indicates C is the copyright owner for me. This is enough to know that is not the word of God. So he's talking about the copyright. Well, the copyright is King James Version, and this right here is the 1998 version, if that's what you're talking about. So that's what he's talking about. Samantha P says, I'm Catholic. The original scripture and interpretation has been fixed around so much the original meaning has been lost. Well, Samantha P, was the original version of the Bible in Latin? So I can answer Latin Patriots question, because I know Latin is a dead language. We don't use it anymore except in some vocabulary words and some of the laws, because the laws are also based off of a Judeo-Christian concept as well. That's what I do know about. I'm not a Bible scholar, but what I'm doing, I'm tying in the Bible, the King James Version, to what's going on with the alphabet community and the culture out here. And my question is the Bible still relevant, or do we not need it at all? The copyright is owned by British Crown. Thank you for that. I'll definitely go look at that, because many of us have believed that the Bible was the Word of God. Now, I've always said the Bible was a history book, because there were a number of men that didn't get in the Bible. The Bible also, the Bible is the law. It's where our laws come from, the Bible. Now, again, I'm not a Bible scholar, so I'm just giving you an opinion. I'm just delivering the message here. But I do want to tie the Bible into what I see in the African American community, in the church, and in the alphabet community, because Brother Nate brought it up. There's some fixtures in the church who believe in this Bible, but their lifestyle doesn't really mix with the Bible that they're preaching. It's almost hypocrisy. And then you have a lot of pastors out here who are blasphemous. Can't copyright the real words of the Most High. That's right. I am not a Bible scholar. I am not a Bible scholar. No. Because the Bible is a very difficult book to interpret. But Isaiah recognized Revelation is the only book we should review, because those scripted prophecies are being performed by the elites that control the world to be afflicted on the masses of people. Okay, I have to take this brother's word for it. He seems to be more of a scholar than I am. I'm an engineer, but I mean, I do read the Bible, because I do get something out of the Bible. But to me, it is a hard book to interpret, because with Christianity, there's so many man-made denominations, and each denomination interprets the Bible differently, and that's why we have issues with Christianity. And just like Samantha P said, the original meaning of the Bible has been lost. It's because Christianity has gotten more and more liberal and accepting of some behaviors that weren't accepted in the Bible, such as LGBTQ or the alphabet community. So, again, when we deal with the Bible, we are basically dealing with the, okay, some people call it the Word of God. Some people call it a history book. Samantha P says, for instance, the translation of Eve into helpmate rather than its original text that was Ezer Kenito was translated directly to helpmate against me. These things have been changed. And you're probably going, it's probably something Brother Guy King has talked about too. And this is probably why he said the Bible is not the Word of God. A lot of changes in the Bible. What's going on, Brother Cortez Smith? If you're just joining, I'll put the link out for anybody else who wants to join the chat. I am talking about Pride Month, talking about the Bible. Brother Nate, this is some deep stuff here.
It's indicative of just how far we have fallen. And there's example after example after example historically of what happens when societies open their arms to embrace all this madness, the LMNOP community, the pedophilia, promoting self-mutilation. I've said on my show, and I'm sure you've heard me say, 40% of these people terminate themselves. That is an astronomical rate of morbidity.
Now, this is something, Brother Nate, shout out to Brother Sigma American. Now, he says modern women claim to be Christians. They should read Ephesians chapter 5, verses 22 to 23. Many of them will denounce their faith. And Samantha P says, I thought it was in Hebrew. Well, you know what?
That's what I thought the original text was into. Yeah.
There may have been something in Hebrew. And on a panel, and this is Celine's favorite topic. We're talking about
Hello.
the Bible. How are you?
I'm good. I just joined the conversation. I just got out of work, so but I think it originally was written in Greek and Hebrew texts.
Okay, so it wasn't in Latin.
I don't believe so. I'm not that. There's things about it. I don't think it was originally in Latin. I know it's been translated into like every language, but I think it originally was in Greek and Hebrew.
Okay. Because I know Latin Patriot want to know why we still use words in Latin. Well, lawyers use a lot of Latin phrases. Orthogonal is a Latin word. And Samantha P says, I think some of the things have changed, but it's still not worthless. It's certainly not throwaway material. Well, I do believe that. What I'm trying to get is, what is the real meaning of the Bible when we have a culture out here with people in it who say they believe in the Bible but don't practice the Bible? And it's not just the black church. It's not just the alphabet community. It's just a number of people, period, who...
Yeah, there's a lot of, I call them carnal Christians. They're Christians, but they're just very worldly, and I've always tried to, if they are, like, at least try to get them in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like, even get their mindset a little more aligned with the Bible if they can.
Latin Patriot. Well, that's a good point you're making. Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that point. And there are a lot of people who don't understand the laws written in Latin, and you like quid pro quo phrases like that. And thank you for clearing that up. Like I said, I'm not a scholar with Latin either, but there are a lot of laws written in Latin, and that's correct. And most of us don't understand the laws. And Brother Sigma says married women specifically. Are you talking about the Bible, Brother Guy King? Because again, just like Celine said, there are a lot of people who claim they read the Bible, they go to church, they hear it preached, but they don't practice it. And some of them have mixed the alphabet and the feminism all with Christianity. And this is what's blown up Christianity. And this is why I know more people don't take Christianity seriously. You know? I look at it as a man-made religion. Go ahead, Celine.
I was just gonna say about the whole, feminism thing. Oh, I don't know. I've seen it happen too, and I never quite understood it. I don't know why they it's not even that they're feminists. It's that they try to. I think it's called like eisegesis, when you put things into the text that aren't there, and then exegesis is like what you get out of the text. So a lot of times, like, their worldly, like, understanding of it, like, and they'll say things like God is a woman or whatever, and all this crazy stuff, but it's very clear that God is a man. As Christians, we believe in the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and all of them are men. So,
well,
God has feminine qualities, though. He's beneficent. He's merciful. Right. Yeah, he's an expression of both, but yeah, he's referred to throughout the Bible as he.
Right. And I'd imagine in different religions too, right? Like, it's always referred to as a male, basically.
Well, that's unless God that's the pronoun he wanted to use. I'm kidding.
Did you know a few years ago there was an event? I like to listen to a lot of Baptist preaching, even if I don't agree with all of it. Like, the basics I agree with. And there was a group of Baptists a few years ago. They did a conference during Pride Month called Make America Straight Again.
Cortez Smith says, not only is God a woman, but allegedly somehow a black woman. He's funny. Cortez goes off. Yes, he does. Brother Isaiah, God is feminine and masculine as one. Okay, like I said, the Bible is a hard book to interpret, but I just see many individuals who hide behind the Bible just to have an excuse to do something that really isn't prevalent to the Bible.
Yeah, that's definitely not right. And as a Christian, I'm kind of embarrassed to be, because as somebody who believes in a lot of things they do, like the eternal security of the believer and all those things, I try to live my life, by some principles and stuff that God laid out and take accountability. So when I see people using God, like only God can judge me, and all this stuff, and
sloganeering,
right, and how Jesus, there's no correction, no nothing, it's
My
just,
favorite is, only God can judge me. No one's allowed to make
right,
judgment.
right,
Right.
right, exactly. And the funny thing is, I don't mean to get too like spiritual, but as Christians, you know, if you're all in one accord together, doesn't God speak through different people too? I mean, look at all the different like prophets he used to speak to people, but it's because there wasn't an audible voice of God that they don't care. You could use all the verses in the Bible about judgment, about, things and stuff like that, but then they just will say how we're in the New Testament now. I've heard that a lot too.
Well, there are LMNOP pastors now. I mean, whole churches devoted to the rainbow,
And
Amazing.
and that goes to my next where Samantha P has answered what I've said. Christians have definitely weakened it because there's a definition on what it used to mean to be a Christian. These
It was a
individuals,
standard, yeah.
right? So they've basically gone left, taken away all the traditional standards, and they're including everybody. But when you do that, the behavior of some persons is not justified as a principle from the Bible. And Brother Sigma American says a dude from Sinetta Camp tried to tell me I'm the beginning God, and I'm the beginning God was inside a BW Coochie until he said, "Let there be light."
Wow, interesting.
Samantha P says, speaking of laws, that's another thing liberals do to attempt to change society. If you change the meaning of words, you can change how the laws are interpreted. Same goes for both topics. Facts. That's
I want to ask Celine a question now.
Sure.
You're a young person.
Mhm.
How do you deal with the constant pressure to conform, to celebrate everything, LMNOP, Transformer, anti-gun, climate change, all the incredible pressures to adopt all this madness? Like, how do you deal with it? Is it a lonely road?
No, I'm really okay. Because I know I'm normal. So, and I think isn't it like 20% of our generation, like
Generation Z now
Yeah.
identify as other than heterosexual. Yes,
right, 20%.
from 4% just 20 years ago.
Right. I always thought they were like 3% of the population.
Yeah,
not
actually
even
less than
4%.
4. Yeah, like between 2 and 4%, and now 20%. Yeah,
That's
dude,
crazy.
they've done a masterful job at manipulating people and getting people to question the decision of the creator to make you a male or a female. Amazing.
You know?
yeah,
Oh,
it
I'm
is.
sorry.
Go ahead, Celine.
When I was in like a Baptist group, right, I learned a lot of really interesting things. I always believed in dressing modestly and stuff like that, but they always believed in very, very long skirts and dresses. It almost was like the Amish as far as how they lived. But a lot of them are very nice people. Very generous people. And, but they believe in very, very specific gender, and which I like. They don't believe that women should wear pants. I don't know how I really feel about that. But I mean, I like to wear pants once in a while. But they also believe that, I learned a lot about like gender roles and stuff, about, the basic kind of framework that God laid out for the family to have order in it. But it's
going to make you persona non grata.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine amongst a bunch of young people.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, back to the whole LMNOP thing about how like 50% of Transformers, like, they delete themselves. I mean, and then the thing is that a lot of these teachers don't even tell the parents about it.
Oh,
like,
no, they hide it from the parents. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know, wouldn't you think they'd care even a little bit?
There was a black father who came up and he filmed it. I don't know if you saw this, for when he had to check a teacher that had all the boys on an opposite day dress up in dresses.
I
Wow.
did not see that.
Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, black father had to check the hell out of this teacher.
Wow.
Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, y'all go ahead.
Fair use. I mean, if you know how to share, fair use.
I gotta see if I can find it. Give me a sec.
You let me know. And in the meantime, Cortez Smith says, those are the dudes who started this BW. It was God crap. It was about getting donations and nations. And Brother Cortez, again, it ain't many Rainbow Gen Z dudes, at least not openly. The 20% does sound extreme. Shout out to Angels Don't Fall.
It might be a lot more women. I remember back during the whole Make America Straight Again conference,
Right.
there was the news reporter was like, this pastor believes a man should be with a woman. And like, it was some like shocking thing or whatever.
I got it. You let me know.
Got
when
it?
you're ready.
And you know how to share it?
Yeah, I do. I'll get it to you in a sec. Give me one sec.
All right.
Hey, what's up, YouTube?
Actually, it was a grandfather. My apologies, not a father, a grandfather. You know, mom didn't want to marry the baby's daddy, so.
All right, we got.
But I'm about to share it right now, and
fair use.
here you go. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready, brother.
All right.
To this topic, I have this video here of a grandfather confronting a school teacher or a daycare worker because she put his grandson in a dress. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Are you
Let me know
playing
what
it?
You think about it?
Whoa, you gotta put it up on the screen.
I got it. All right, thanks, brother.
Okay,
Nate.
cool, no problem.
I also have a report from the Daily Mail explaining exactly what happened before the interaction. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's do this. Let's help each other in the comment section.
Yeah, she called me and told me that she had an issue up here about my grandson being in a dress. I mean, I'm trying to see what the issue is about that.
Okay, you're gonna have to talk to Dara.
Who's
the
Dara?
director.
Mm.
In the other classroom.
Is she the one that was in charge of the kids while my
I
grandson?
was, but I can't talk to you.
Why?
Can't talk to you about your grandchild that you put in a dress. Bet
That's
you can't.
ridiculous.
Because you're not on the form. So we'll have to get Dara up here and she will let you. I mean, talk to you.
Now, what I see back there, brother Nate.
We don't do that. The transgender and all that. We don't do that.
I understand. I don't either, but he's
And
two.
I don't appreciate you encouraging him to put on no dress for the second day too. I don't appreciate that. And don't think this is going away. I'm going further with this.
Okay, you can go down and talk
No,
to
I'm not
Dara.
done talking to you. I'm letting you know the next time that you put any kid in a dress, we're gonna make you go viral.
Okay, you need to go talk to my director.
Okay, obviously she doesn't care. She has a grandfather, a family member, asking her question regarding his grandson, and she's telling him, yeah, I can't talk to you. Like, seriously, bro? At least give him something. Okay, I understand how you feel, sir, but your grandson like wearing dress. Or, I don't know, I made a mistake. We understand how you feel. It won't happen again. Or at least talk about it. Like, give him something. She's telling him, yeah, I can't talk to you. Go talk to the other lady. It happened in your classroom. Your classroom, and you telling me I gotta go talk to somebody else? Like, seriously?
Put any kid in a dress, we're gonna make you go viral.
Okay.
Wow.
You need to go talk to my director. Because I, as a teacher,
No, I mean, I got an issue with you about that. I'm
Absolutely.
not playing with you.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
She
But you
doesn't
should
care.
have called me before you made the decision to put my grandson in a dress.
Okay, you can speak to the
No, I'm speaking to you.
Please do not talk.
My man, boy.
Shut up.
My man. Yes, sir.
Now
You want
let
me to
me
play the rest? Or you good?
go. You can play the rest.
Okay.
You
Not
definitely.
home with my children
I
around.
wouldn't be up here if you wouldn't put my grandson in no dress.
Again,
Well,
There
do what you
you
gotta
take it
do.
up with Miss
No, I'm taking it up with you.
Please lower your voice. You're in a classroom.
I'm taking it up with you. Well, you shouldn't have put my grandson in no dress.
Is 2? What do you mean is 2? Come on, bro. She really doesn't care how you feel. She doesn't care at all. She's
does?
not giving him anything. So, in my humble opinion, he did the right thing because obviously she doesn't care, bro. You have a grandfather, a family member coming and asking you, the teacher, a question regarding his grandson, and you just looking at him like, oh yeah, you don't have to be here. I'm not talking to you. Go talk to somebody else. Really, her attitude, bro. What do you think about this? I think he did the right thing. He's concerned. Obviously, he said his daughter sent him there. So you as a teacher, give him something. Like seriously, like really? That's the problem with these teachers nowadays, bro. They feel like they can just do whatever they want, and you can't do nothing about it. That's crazy.
Taking it up with you. Well, you shouldn't have put my grandson in no dress. This ain't over with, all right?
So my article from the Daily Mail here says a lesbian mom pulled her 2-year-old son from preschool after her girlfriend saw him parading around in a dress while the boy's grandfather confronted the teacher and tell her, we don't do that transgender. What would you do? So the mother is a lesbian. It says here that a lesbian mother has pulled her 2-year-old son from his private Christian preschool after her girlfriend saw him parading around in a dress. Her name.
Wow.
They're even against this. Amazing.
Now that's the lesbian mom that's against it.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
A lesbian mom against. You put a 2-year-old boy in a
That's-
dress.
And
This
that's
is child abuse.
Yeah, shout out to Cortez Smith. He mentions it. And Brother Men's Daily said, I bet she's a single mom. And Cortez said, this is why I can't have kids. If I walk into class and see my son in the dress, I'd be very, very upset. Shout out to Angels Don't Fall. She's probably not a mom. Yeah, a lesbian mom. Isn't that?
I don't know how that works, but okay.
Well,
Oh, lesbian.
hey, you know, you got log cabin Republicans up here. So
Yes, you do. Yes, we do.
some believe in a traditional value, even if they're not practicing it. So you got to give her some credit. Shout out to Cortez. Yes. But that's awfully strange, Brother Nate. Boys
Scary.
dressed. And this is what's wrong with a number of black men. And Gerald 28 says these liberal white women are the worst. Facts.
Oh, worse. Pasty skunks.
Tasty skunks, just like you said. Absolutely.
That's what they are, man.
Well-
Oh, there's nothing worse than white liberals. They are absolutely horrible people, dog.
I mean, they have really, really indoctrinated the ABW, especially
Absolutely.
the educated ones, and they're all about this. Now, again, this is not about the ABW, but you have to put the components into the support of the LGBT or the alphabet community, and the ABW is a big supporter of it. I mean, if you don't believe me, you go ahead. I wish I could pull that up, called The Shy. A lesbian wrote that. She's basically creating that show from a woman's point of view. And also, I believe in the Bible, does it say pastors could be women? Because I know, and maybe you did some footage on it, Brother Nate. There was a woman pastor who got killed in Atlanta, I believe. They found her in a car.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was in Atlanta. And I know the Bible does preach that women shouldn't be pastors.
Man, I mean, and again, this isn't an insult to women, but it seems like anything you put them in charge of, except what the creator wants them in charge of, which is, you know, the managing of the children and the affairs of the household, They've put aside what God requires of them in exchange for these careers and these positions of political power and positions in industry. And they're more miserable than they've ever been in their lives. There's never been a time in recorded history where women were so miserable.
Right.
And they keep just pushing it. They keep pushing this shit.
Yeah, they keep poking the bear. And shout out to Celine. Thank you for coming up. I know she had to leave the panel. Cortez says BW support. I'm just going to say the rainbow, not because they participate, but because it's a rebellious act. They participate in it in the first place to be rebellious. I can't say I disagree with that, Brother Nate. What say
Well,
you?
I gotta add a caveat to that, Brother Smith. According to the CDC, 23% of Black women are bisexual.
Wow.
23% of Black women are bisexuals.
Almost
Can
one
you
out of
imagine the ridicule that guys like me and you and the guys in the chat would get if that number was true of Black men?
Oh.
They already call us gay for any reason they can think of.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and what they're doing is they're projecting, it seems like. Because so many of them are playing these games, you know, back and forth. Whoever treats me better is who I'll stay with. It's madness, dog. Absolute madness.
Shout out to Celine. I don't believe in women pastors either. They can help in a church or whatever in any way, but not pastors. I still believe that a role of a man is to lead his church, is to lead his household. Some people will disagree with you and I on that, Brother Nate, but thankfully, people like us, we're going to keep getting the word out. Samantha P says also, thankfully, only 40% of white women are liberal.
Yes, I've always said half of white women are trash in this country.
Wow. And to me, putting a woman in charge is like letting a guy who mops the deck be the captain. No, that's fact. That's a fact.
And Brother 411, there are things women are good at.
Absolutely.
Women are great at event planning. They're great at anything having to do with children, of course, anything that involves patience and care. Why not encourage them in the things that they're good at, naturally good at? They have a natural predisposition for, instead of forcing them. I swear to God, I don't know if you heard me on this show, but the new Obi-Wan show on Disney, which is, they have got to be the worst corporation in America right now.
Disney is not number uno in my boat right now.
They are trash. And this new Obi-Wan film, Obi-Wan is one of the greatest Jedis in the universe. In the show, he's getting bossed around by a 5-year-old Princess Leia, basically getting cussed out by her. And he's being chased down and hiding from a Black female Jedi killer with a weave.
That's ridiculous.
This is insanity. It's absolute insanity, dog.
All backwards. Shout out to Cortez Smith. They call them, I'm just going to say rainbow, when we have a lower percentage of rainbow men than any other groups in this country. Again, Celine says, I personally prefer male pastors in the church. Women are great teaching. Women are good in support positions, Brother Nate. Don't you think?
We wouldn't have won World War II without the women, the nurses, the women back at home, you know, taking up the responsibilities. You know, God bless them. You know,
and I respect her for that. Celine says, I like having a little job as a cashier, but I don't have the boss B energy or assertive, or I'm not assertive enough to work in corporate America. That's where you got the real bosses. Even women who really aren't into it will do it or say they are as a way to make themselves more attractive to men. I can't tell you how many times I've seen 2 women kiss that weren't bi for male attention. Facts. And you know, some of this was also in that porn and lesbian porn too.
Sure. Sure.
And that's what guys don't understand either. Well, guys do understand, but the porn was to make money to get the guys to buy it. I mean, because if you think about it, and I'm not against capitalism, just like you're not, brother, but there's a lot of crony capitalism that's taking place that's really part of the corruption that is taking place in this country. It's just like the gas prices. What are the gas prices running down there in the great state, the red state of South Carolina?
We're about 440, 441.
Well, you're better than we are. We're about 529, 519, and 559.
Whoa.
Yeah, just went up. Yep. And Samantha P says, yep, they make him weak and pathetic. And it's not just his character either. They are doing too many of the white characters. They're either fat and stupid, weak, or helpless. Shout out to Samantha P putting it down. But again, I am not against what any adult does. So anybody who's part of the community, that's fine. Stay away from the children. Children need to be children. They're already over sexualized enough, especially with this social media. You have a number of children who are out of place. A number of parents allow their, particularly the moms, they allow their children to have an opinion, and I disagree with that. They allow the children to be disrespectful to them and others. Shout out to Men's Daily. It's 4:39 in Kansas City, Missouri. And the link is out for anybody else that wants to come up and join the panel.
Hey, I don't know if you watch Pink Book Lessons, brother Leon, but one of her newest videos is a man sitting at a table, and he's talking to his wife about making her 29-year-old son leave. And he's like, this is my mama's house. I don't have to leave. And the guy's like, well, maybe I should leave. And the woman's like, well, you can go. You can leave. And the guy says, you won't even take out the trash. This 29-year-old man says, why should I take out the trash? I didn't make it.
Well, you know,
29.
You know what, brother? That goes by what and Men's Daily out of Hop On. We did and I didn't do it. I was going to do it. I should have had it up, which I'm not going to say might. I have to draw it up. I call that the pyramid of priority. And we ran a priority of what a number of these women want. Let me read the chat again. Samantha P says they've been implementing this for way too long. Even when I started looking back at older shows, I see it. Things like the Fred Flintstone or the Jetsons. Porn really ruined America sexually. Should be a private practice. And of course, what's sad, most boys by 16 have seen enough for them to be messed up for life. That's true, brother Nate. That's true.
Yeah, porn it does damage. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I watch it on occasion, but yeah, it is damaging. It's very unrealistic. You get a warped sense of what a woman is there for, and yeah, it definitely causes damage.
Right. And again, Celine says porn sex is like WWE compared to Greco-Roman wrestling. And Cortez, Brother Smith says they've been putting propaganda in everything. And that's what the problem is, just to make people feel good. And again, the purpose of television is to control the thoughts of masses. But do you know that's also the purpose of religion as well? You know, I'm not saying not to believe in God up here. I do. I believe you have to have faith, but you also have to be realistic. You need to come into money. You need to come into power. But there are a number of pastors out here who have actually used their establishments to They've donated money to one party, political party. They've made money for themselves. They've actually preached the verses in the Bible that they believe that the ABW or the white woman want to hear. Because let's just be honest, Brother Nate. If you look at everything, okay, if you're trying to sell something, who would you try to sell it to first, a man or a woman?
A woman.
Right, because she's most gullible. And Men's Daily says, telling the truth, you can't make this shit up about the grown kids staying with the single moms rebelling and the single mom betraying the potential stepdad and backing up the kids' bad behavior. Brother G, yeah, come on up here, brother. You and I have we talked about this behind the great example, Brother Nate. He gave you a compliment about the grown kid living at home, and I got to step back into that. First of all, Brother Nate, you have a son. I know I got a son.
Sure.
Make sure your son does not go out. Well, I don't have to tell you, but you know what it is when it comes to these women. And I'm sure if he brings a girl in that house, you're not going to watch the movement of that girl. You're not going to watch that. I know you are.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Yeah,
may
he's had a
even-
couple. And I definitely give him my perspective, and it usually doesn't last too long. These young ladies are remarkably reckless. I mean, just the cussing, everything's cool and sweet for a couple of weeks, but then she's cussing, or he doesn't pick up when he's supposed to, or the boy is literally on the go like all day.
Right. And they want to, well, first of all, a number of them, and you got to really watch, and I know Brother Guy King brought up, you got to watch these Christian ones that Christianity, they will use that. It sounds very good, but you have to see how people are moving. And going back to Brother Cortez, he's been watching action movies made from 1980 till now. And literally every movie has a feminist propaganda in some form. That's true. There was a show. Tommy Jean didn't like it, and I didn't like it. You ever heard of The Equalizer? There was a white man who played it first, and then Denzel Washington, and then Queen Latifah played it. And I do not.
Yeah.
I don't watch that. The roundhouse kicking chick beating men and Queen Latifah. No.
Oh, she's in the show?
She is the Equalizer on one show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I see.
260-pound woman. Gotcha.
Yeah. And also the population control. Yeah, they want to control the population because births are down, particularly for white persons. And even Chuck Norris, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger, all their movies had some type of feminist programming. And having God in my life, he's a guide, kept her from a lot of BS. Shout out to Celine. And Samantha P says, I see religion more used in a way of a self-soothe while practicing temperance rather than TV that fills you with indulge, almost where you are overwhelmed gluttony. And I don't watch too much television now, Brother Nate.
Yeah, I watch very little too.
You might have me cancel my football. I don't know if you have that, Brother Nate. You might want to bring that picture up so we can all see that.
I got you.
If you got that, I want everybody to see what what I was thinking about yesterday, because this really,
they won't let us have anything. Like I said, my son and I, we have ESPN Plus, which is the streaming service. We watch all UFC fights, and they're 70% of the time there's a gay or transformer commercial. There was one commercial where they had a transformer get out of the shower. He put the towel around his pectorals like a woman does. He wiped away the mist on the mirror and kissed the mirror. A transformer.
Well, do you know the Gillette commercial had
my God.
You remember that?
Yes.
And that's why Gillette isn't making too much money. It was a
Lost
daughter.
$8 billion in market share. Yeah.
Right. So all this Transformer stuff is going to have people losing a lot of money. And Brother Cortez says they'll have a mob boss whose crew of goons is led by a female. Well, if you look in the Chi is led by a female in the police force, by the way, a black female at that.
There you go.
All right, I want everybody to see what Brother Nate, and this is what got me to do this stream. This is what Brother Nate had on last night. This is a man, folks. I want everybody to see as a cheerleader for the Carolina Panthers. Right then and there. That is a man.
The NFL's first Transformer cheerleader.
Fair use. Now,
Yep.
that right there is something that I've never seen in my life. I mean, this guy is trying to be, well, no, don't get me wrong. The Transformer has been around a long time ago, or somebody playing a Transformer. And I'm going to tell you who did it. If you watch MASH, there was one who did MASH, who was on MASH. Nate, you and I were small, but he played Geraldine Flip Wilson, okay, way back in the 70s. Remember in Living Color?
Mm-hmm. Men on Film.
So there have been many men playing, and Jamie Foxx was the one who was actually playing in Transformer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people don't know that, but he was. And some of these guys, they're actors, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And shout out to Samantha P. They want to push everyone to indulge in every urge their mind can think of. And who remembers the State Farm commercial with DeAndre Johnson? Nobody talked about it back then. I got to find that one. Okay. I guard myself with my scripture. And they made DeAndre Johnson wear a dress, a heels, and a blonde weave. And I also remember Dennis Rodman. He faked his own wedding by putting on a dress.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So Billy Porter, the one that you brought up, who's had HIV for I don't know how many years.
Had it for 14 years.
And you know what's really disgusting? We're calling out a lot of black men for this. Now, I know the Raiders had the first, well, he wasn't the first openly gay player. There was a black dude who played for the Miami Dolphins. And he didn't last that long. But the white guy came out and he was open about being gay. And this is what I'm talking about, this Pride Month. Again, I'm not knocking on people who are living this lifestyle, but do you really deserve a month? I mean, what have you contributed to the economy? Not to yourselves, but to the economy. So everybody benefits. That's what I look at. I mean, Pride Month and what I've seen in some of these pride parades is something that I don't agree with. And keep in mind, DeAndre Johnson is a 7-foot super athlete that has one of the highest verticals ever a center that could make it worse. Also, what about the Kansas City Chiefs? They had a running back. They called him Grandmama. So all of this is, in my humble opinion, it's been around a long time, Brother Nate. Just people have just begun to actually pay attention to it. And it's
they were scared to say anything, intimidation and cancel culture and all this other nonsense. And now look at us, man. They're openly advocating for pedophilia. Open.
And that right there is a scary thought. And, you know, we don't have enough people talking about it. That's the problem.
I
And
agree completely.
I mean, we can sit up here and talk about everything else, but this, I mean, we got sons out here and we got daughters out here. Look, I'm just going to say this, just like I said on your panel. A lot of society is gone now. For a number of the crazy people out there, I'm going to give you my interpretation on why you have a number of people crazy. This might sound like a conspiracy or a theory, a conspiracy theory. The jab. Has that jab given people side effects? I don't know.
Tens of thousands of deaths. Over 1 million calls into the vaccine adverse reaction hotline, the Versa something. Yeah.
I mean, do you see that common sense has eroded? And when I talk about common sense, no, you don't even have to have a degree to have common sense.
No, sir.
But it has. I mean, you think about it. Who's really running this country? And Cortez, he just had a friend that died from the jab.
Oh wow, are you serious? Damn.
Oh yeah. Come on up, Cybertosin. I'll drop the link for you. Come on up. Come on up.
I'm about to have to drop down, bro.
All right, hey, bro. Hey, what are you going to be talking about on your panel? Everybody get the Little Big Nate's.
Not sure yet. Not sure yet. Whatever
Little
it is,
Big
I
Nate.
hope you'll come through.
Tomorrow, you know, I'll come through tomorrow, brother Nate. Thank you for showing up. But spam your channel in there, brother. Want everybody to get to Nate Dogg 74. He streams every Tuesday when he streams, because I know he was out a couple of weeks. But generally, he's on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Get over here to his channel. He's got good information. He's the one that really brought up the trans. So I told him I was going to piggyback off of it, but I brought in the Pride Month because it's very indicative that men are going to continue to be emasculated if we don't understand what's going on. And my job is to give you the information. What you do with it is up to you, but listen to it. Might save your life. But again, thank you, Brother Nate, for coming on this show.
My pleasure.
And up on the panel, I've been joined by Cybertosin. What's going on, brother? Unmute yourself there. All right. You got to unmute yourself, Cybertosin. Got to unmute yourself.
I think I'm having some issues with my headset. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I got Daly up there. What's going on, bro? About time you showed up.
What's going on? What's going on, man? I apologize for the late entry, man. I'm in there spending some time with my daughter and everything, you know. So yeah, that's all. But said, girl, I got to get on this stream, man. For real, they talking about juicy topics that I'm missing, man. So,
Well,
she's in there doing her thing.
I'm going to come back. Cybertosin, welcome, Cybertosin. He's having a little problems, but I'm going to get to my chat right quick. Samantha P., one of the fruits of the Holy Spirit is long suffering and patience. As Christians, we shall all strive to do the right thing, not just indulge the right way. Samantha P. says, for me, these are more lifelong lessons that help you become more fulfilled over time. Living fast while you're young may be fun, but it's not fun when you're 50 and suffering. Absolute fact. Salute, Brother Kenneth Williams. Welcome to the chat. Again, Brother G, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing, man? How you doing, man? And who's that? Cyber
Cyber Tosin, what's
Toxin?
going on? Yes.
Cybertoxin. Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you doing,
The
Mr.
second,
Toxin?
the second word means like an alarm bell or a sound of warning. It's
Gotcha,
a-
gotcha.
I'm glad I got you up here, Cyber Toxin.
yeah. Some things that were said about fear.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to touch on the two key instincts of men that are distinguishable from women. We have more of a nature, more of a lustful nature towards two things. We all know about sex,
Facts.
right?
Yes.
That's a lust of the flesh, a lust for flesh. But there's also a lust for blood. That's violence.
That's
There are a
true,
lot of
too.
women that are using men's baser lust toward violence as an appeal for manipulation. I see it happen often. And that's what they started selling to us after, let's call it the Matrix was established.
Yes.
And people started falling into it. And in media, there was a lot of sexual images. Right when moving pictures were new. Okay, and there was some problems from that, and they started heavily with the censorship on that. But they had no need to censor violence because violence was happening in real life at that time. World War I had just ended, World War II was just starting, and they weren't making a whole lot of films where they were trying to censor violence because it was real life. There was no fascination there. So it was natural discourse. And there was something unnatural being promoted regarding sex. And they put censorship on it very heavily, but let violence continue up to even into the 80s. Then they started putting a censorship on violence and leaning off of their censorship on sexual appeal. But they're both things that men kind of gravitate towards when they're lost in their own devices, so to speak.
Wow, yeah. And Cortez Smith said the first clear movie was porn. Samantha P says violence is really going down with the testosterone dropping off a cliff. As much as I don't want to say it, when I look around, I see most men henpecked into submission.
Well, she's talking about a physical expression of violence. This virtual world has facilitated violence in such a way. That's why women are becoming so much more bold.
Sure.
And so much more capable of appealing to men in that violent world because their competition can't just strike them down.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and that
I
goes
believe
for
that.
men. That goes for men too, because men are getting softer because that world is being facilitated. It's no longer being censored; it's being facilitated.
Yeah, it's being
for
encouraged.
everyone.
It's being
Yes, for
encouraged.
all of us, so that we'll be drawn away of our own lusts.
You know,
And
that's some element of truth over that. And she says, I'm also not sure if this is directly due to lowering testosterone levels or losing faith over time, being overworked. Nevertheless, I see the fight is gone in most gentlemen. Facts. And like Brother Cortez says, testosterone thing is, but a lot of guys, they do look henpecked. And Samantha B, reading the Bible and growing in my walk with Jesus gives me so much fulfillment. It's awesome. Now, I do see a lot of men getting weaker, a lot of men getting more estronized instead of with testosterone. Brother G, you might want to elaborate on this because I'm sure you see it as well.
Oh no, I thought you had the stage. I was sitting back being a student, man.
Well, there's always a multi-pronged attack. So there is a chemical attack. There's also a psychological attack, and they're going for an economical attack. One way they started the economical attack was through the psychological one of making it seem uncool or unpopular to work with your hands and get calluses on your fingers and blood on your knuckles.
That's true. And then masculinity. You look at some of the sports out there, uncool to play masculine sports like football, and they've made it cybertoxin. Let's go to the schools where they want the boys to sit there with their hands folded like girls, but boys just can't do that. So what have they done? They've given boys a drug so they can be like the girls. So it's basically been unpopular to be a heterosexual male. And if you look at a number of these boys, Brother Nate just said it, you have a number of them still living at home with their mama, trying to tell their mama what to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like I was saying in the chat, man, and I stick to this. This because it's the overwhelming amount of single moms, and the father is actually being either put out the household, or the father, you know, the one night stand guy or whatever, he doesn't want to be around, and the women are, you know, trying to trap him, you know, and strap him down unwillingly just to have a kid, you know. And then once that kid grows over, all he sees is mom and everything, and he's not shown the way of life. He's not shown logic or pragmaticness. No, he's shown only to be feminine to a certain degree, and to also be a neutral as a woman. You know, I mean, it's insane. So you got to remember, kids learn by example. And if he's been around that single mom all his life, that's all he knows. You understand? A lot of guys like myself, Kevin Samuel, so many other guys too. A lot of us came from single mother households. A lot of us, like myself, came from the streets. And then also too, a lot of us, you know, there's a small minority that actually came in what we call well-balanced parent households, you know, where the mother's doing her role and the father's doing his role, you know, because even in those households, right, you still got that corrupt, domineering woman trying to be the man and not allowing the father to be the father or to be the man. You understand?
And case in point, brother, there's a show on called Modern Family where they have the two gay guys with the baby. Then they have the family with the 3 kids. The mom isn't working, but she's the domineering one. And then you have Ed O'Neill, who's the older guy married to a younger Spanish girl, but you should see the 3 kids. I'm going to focus on the family with the domineering mother who isn't working. She went to college. I believe he did as well, but he's very docile, and the kids disrespect him. They talk back to him. They show him no respect. And that is a household with 2 parents, but you know it has a woman's influence because there is no
structure. Structure. And we talk about this. I talked about this on another channel about there's 3 to 4 categories of the father should be placing in the household, right, of disrespect. And one type of disrespect is one of my number ones is when the woman actually just uses him and treats him like a piece of furniture. Okay. Number 2, right, if the guy is what I call Uncle Dad, you know, Uncle Dad actually comes on the weekends, on the holidays, and he's always constantly in and out. There's also too the dad that actually just comes by there and he wants to just hit that shit. That's it. He comes by, hit, you know, doesn't play father, doesn't be father, and he's gone, man. That's it. And the last but not least is what I call the jailbird father. The jailbird father, he's consistently always in jail, always in prison, always got warrants. He comes and goes either in months and years, you know. So these are the 4 different types of unstable fathers that a lot of the children grow up around, even if they are in 2-parent households, you know, because you got, you know, those idiot women are saying, well, there's Lorenzo and Ray Ray and Pookie. I'm gonna wait for him to get out. Once he get out, then we're gonna start our family. But about time he gets out, right? He'll stay out for maybe 90 days and he's back in there for doing something stupid, you know, because this is the life that he's used to. So it goes back to what we always talk about, right? Is that these women pick these guys, right, based on what makes their pussy tingle, but they don't pick these guys off of ethics, morals, and what actually makes sense long term. You got to remember, one guy taught me something a while back, which I did not know, man. I took it as a joke, but it was real. And he said, you have to remember, the majority of the women you're going to meet are moment creatures. They only think for the moment. They never think long term like a man. They don't. They do not think long term. They don't. Why do you think you'll see? And case in point, when he was saying, why do you think when a woman gets a tattoo, right? Let's say she's 18, 19 years old. The first thing she says, oh, it looks cute or whatever it may be, right? But if you sit down and go to like a retirement home and talk to like that 83, 84-year-old woman, goddamn it, who got that tattoo, and talk to her and ask her, does that same tattoo looks cute? And she'll look you dead in the face and say, I can regret getting this shit. What the hell I was thinking, you know, for real. And it was the real truth. They don't think about the long term, right, of how this is going to benefit them. They figure, let's have the kid. It's fine. I'll handle it. And then look at all the stress that come with it. Well, I'm going to have my mama watch him, or my grandma, or as you would say, grandmama watch him, man, or whatever. And then they wonder why this kid is growing up feminine and not compliant. But, you know, to the woman, that's fine, you know, because this is their nature. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to embrace and they're going to encourage that behavior. So when there's a society full of feminine guys or whatever, and we decide to have these guys go to the Army or go to the Navy, God damn it, this same guy can't protect you, because the moment that you guys are sleeping back to back together, he's wondering, though, are you going to go ahead and break his nails? Is that the type of guy that you want protecting your ass? You have to actually realize that shit.
Hell no. Let me get back to the chat right quick. 1/3 of the testosterone that the fathers had at the same age. Okay, men have 1/3 of the testosterone today's men. We can look that up. Can you believe it? 1/3. So that means 2/3 of our testosterone that our fathers had is gone. And going back to the Bible, as a Christian, I trust the sole sufficiency of the cross and the resurrection, and I trust in that alone. Also, I understand the hypocrisy with many Christians. The Bible tells us to add our faith, virtue, and patience. And I agree with Cyber on the prong attack between the propaganda, the food becoming overweight, societal. That's also facts. And if the whole book is about making your faith of value to other people and not being selfish, as Christians, we should deny ourselves just as Jesus did. And I had 2 wisdom teeth emerge at 33, and I never even had the buds formed when I was 28. They legitimately formed and pushed out of my face due to cortisol levels. Yeah, well, a lot of things have happened. Let me take a look at our poll question. Is the Bible an outdated book? Out of 32 votes, 28% said yes, 72% said no. Go on, brother. Brother G.
It's never out of date.
You don't think
I look at it this way, you know, from the red pill community, which I didn't know until, you know, we dived in it, man, or whatever. Shout out to Matt from the 33 Secrets channel, man. Go to his channel, man. It's really good hardcore red pill content. Hardcore, man. It's hardcore, right? But, you know, he keeps it like really clean and everything, so he won't get demonetized. You know, he got a little special tricks and shit he does. But he actually read the Bible, right? And read out of Proverbs, man, and Ephesians about women and female nature. And this is what told me, and he said it, that the Bible is as red pill as you can get, man. It's full of red pill content in that thing, full of it, you know, from female nature to guys, right, who are jealous and envy, man. And I mean, the Bible's like for real. If you like really pay attention to it, I know you guys are saying a few books, but some of my favorite books in there were Proverbs and Romans, man. Saul went in on Romans, man. I'm never.
You in the New Testament or Old Testament? See, I kind of start off from the Old Testament with the Genesis, the Leviticus, the Deuteronomy.
Sure, Numbers, yeah.
There's another one. Always there's one of them I always forget. Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Numbers, Genesis.
Do you also
5 books?
So you're talking all the Old Testaments, right? Like Kings and stuff.
Yes.
Judges.
Yes.
Yeah, because Kings and Judges, though, I don't know who's in that chat or whatever. If you read the book of Kings and Judges or get it on Audible, man, it'll put you on a lot of game. Get the King James Version, not the new King James Version. You want to get the original King James Version. It'll put you up on
the one that I displayed tonight was from 1998. Now I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, the original one is a big, thick book. Is that the real big book?
Yeah, that's the King James Version. Yeah. That's the King James Version, man. It's
like a suitcase.
Yeah. It's the King James Version. But the King James Version comes in so many copies, man, and versions, you know, whatever. And that's why I always tell these guys, like, be careful with like the NIV and New King James, all that crap. No, man, just keep it simple. King James Version. I know sometimes it may be difficult to insert certain things, man, but that, to me, I'm old school. That's as much as original as you can really get, though, man. And you just sit down and just analyze it and everything. Now, if you're really having a hard time or whatever, there's reference material out there based on theology and divinity. Because if there's someone in theology and divinity, they can better help you and assist you in those directions. Because my dad, I think he had a degree in philosophy or something, man. And it was like they had this big epic religion. That's one of those topics I try to stay away from is religion, because a theologist and a philosopher, man, they'll go at it for like days, man. For real. Yeah. Well, but it's a really good book.
I do agree that the Bible is not an outdated book. There's a lot of good things in the Bible. A number of people really don't understand the Bible, but a lot of our laws were based on the Bible. And I agree. The Bible, the Bible is here to stay. My poll question did say it right. I have people vote. Number of them said the Bible is not outdated. And Samantha, being an athlete and having a healthy diet is extremely important for maintaining levels. And I believe there's something in the Bible about the health too, I believe. And Cortez says, I try to explain to these dudes, but they're stuck in their ways. They're guys who know about the conspiracies. And shout out to Isaiah. Recognize the Bible is basically a book that describes a lineage of family. We weren't supposed to make a religion out of it. And you can lead a horse to the water, as they say, but you can't make them drink. And again, I believe in that Bible as well. I've read it. I'm not a scholar of it, brother, but it's still a good book, and it's going to be around long after we go. And you imagine how many books didn't get in the Bible. You imagine that. How many books?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There was a lot of books, and then you got the conspiracy theorists coming out with all types of crap too. There are certain pages is out of the Bible, and I don't know, man. Like I said, man, these conspiracy theories, man, can really easily mislead you, in my opinion.
Well, I'll say this: all the things that the good book has proven or has said to be good has been proven to me whenever I apply it to my life. So I'll say that again. Everything that the good book has said to be good has been good for me every time I've applied it to my life.
That's a good thing.
I
And
can agree. I can agree with it. I can agree. I can agree. Go ahead to the chat. I'm
Proven
sorry.
to be good. It's been proven to be good when I apply it to my life.
yeah, you know, the Bible is you know, everything, you know, like Tony Jean said, the wars, everything. And
Yeah. Tony G tells the
And
truth about the
and it's not
about
just
the wars, famines, diseases, man. I mean, it's red
Yeah.
pill, man. It's like a lot of knowledge in there. Shoot.
and
that's
whoever
why I
wrote
had to state it like I did, because there's a lot of things written in that book that are not good, and they're said to not be good. And applying those things to your life gets you something bad every time as well.
and
But
see,
I could spend all day talking about my mistakes.
I mean, we've all made them, but you know, like Samantha P says, let's say for arguments that 100% truth, is there not still several applicable lessons that can be lived by to help individuals have a more fulfilled life and a less chaotic life?
I agree, Samantha. I agree. I agree with Samantha is saying, you know, and I also agree with Celine is saying also too, you know, I stick with the King James version. I mean, that's as original as you can get. And on what Samantha is saying, yes, man, the Bible has changed, man, millions of people's lives, billions of lives, right, over years before we were even thought of, man. You know, guys like Martin Luther King Jr., man, you know, he was a pastor, man. You see him on the back of this poster right here with Malcolm X. You know, it's real. You know, it changed a lot of people's lives. There's a good book. Also, I want you guys to read, if you guys get a chance to, or get the audiobook called, right, by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Man, that book is so powerful. It's about 500 men in that book, right, that created leadership roles to be rich, man. And these guys were like, man, stuff all the way from the 1400s up into like the 1900s. Like it's insane, man. But there was a pastor that was in that book that was really powerful, man. And he just woke up one day and he said, if I had $1 million, what would I do with it? And he talked to God and he talked to his congregation. He had this sermon written out, and he just came out and he just told his congregation, if I had $1 million, I would like to open up an educational center for youth and a youth council, you know, and I would like to have libraries, you know, and gymnasiums in there and multiple places to pray in there and things like that. And after he applied that, plus some of the concepts he read out of that Bible, there was a guy in the audience, man, that heard the man's sermon. I think it was like an hour and a half sermon. Came and he said, he gave him the card and he said, I want you to see me in my office first thing. I think it was Monday morning. And I guess sermon was on a Sunday. He came Monday morning. He said, I heard your sermon. I loved your sermon. I'm going to give you the $1 million myself. I believe in you. I trust you. And I know you would do the right thing. That man took that $1 million, man. Not only came out the church, man, and built that youth exhibit, but also he had like hundreds of people still like donating to keep that facility up, man. It was crazy. But read the book, man. You'll like it, man. It's a really powerful book. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I've actually heard that. Now, Celine says there are a lot of gnarly stories in the Old Testament, but the King James Bible is special. Not that there aren't nuggets in different versions, but just from a secular literary standpoint, the King James Bible is, for the most part, a masterpiece. And the Bible is the timeline created by the Father from the beginning to the end. Revelation, what the current is, in which are alive to witness once Revelation is done, close the book. And Samantha P, if you like that book, check out this one, The Richest Man in Babylon by George
Yeah.
S. Clausen.
That's an interesting book too. They mentioned that book. They mentioned that book along with like the Rich Dad Poor Dad series, though. So Samantha is right. Yeah, she's on top of her game, man, when it comes to those inspirational books, man. She's on top of it. Yeah.
Now, my man Guy King says he's talking about the copyright. So how could it be the word of God? There is a copyright on the Bible, and we've all looked at it as the word of God. Angels Don't Fall believe that the Bible is a timeline. I mean, there's lots we can say about the Bible, and here's what I'm going to say about it. If you read it and you practice the principles, then you can see how your life really turns out. But you got to wholeheartedly believe in it. And again, all books have a copyright on it, but somebody put those books in that Bible, and we're still using it today. And it's still relevant today. I know there's a copyright on it, but the King James version is what everybody is using. Well, most of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I say you're gonna have, man, like conspiracy theories. People are just full of just negativity. They're gonna question like a lot of stuff, man. But in theory, not all of them, but in theory though, right? Some of the people who question this stuff usually are like some of the people who've never actually sat down, actually read it, analyzed it, and actually applied the concepts to everyday life. You understand? But me, like I said, I'm not a person of religion to like to push my beliefs on another person or whatever, right? I'm just speaking of a testimonial that, it's changed different parts of my life, and also too parts in other people's life. I've actually have changed. I have actually changed people's lives. Their lives have changed. Through just simply applying the concepts in there. You understand? Right. But if you just read it and then just don't do nothing and figure, oh well, it's just a book full of stories. Let me nitpick as much as I can out of it. Whatever. Then you just get what you get.
Yeah, because like I told you before, Brother G, I'm not a scholar of it. And has it helped me? And I never will be, because it's a lot to learn. Now, the book of Proverbs from Celine gives great guidelines for how to live and the different consequences of different decisions you make. And Samantha P says, have Rich Dad Poor Dad 2, and I've read both 5 times.
You have Samantha. Hey, Samantha, check this out. I got it too. I want you to also too, like tonight, go on Audible and go get this book, man. If you get this book and really apply it, man, you're gonna buy you some property probably like in a month, maybe sooner or whatever. But go buy this book called The Real Book of Real Estate Investing by Robert T. Kiyosaki, man. He came out with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Right, buy that book. Those books, that book right there, they got ballers in there. They're not dealing with residential. They touch on residential, but nah, residential, man, ain't where it's at. Nah, or the real money's that it's in commercial and land, man, and just dealing with huge buildings, and dealing with corporations. Go get that book. You'll like it, Samantha. I didn't mean to get off topic.
That's right. But with the Bible, copyright of the Bible, and that's one thing. And brother King brought it up, and he mentioned that it was a copyright on it, which I have to look it up myself too. But although it's a copyright, a lot of books, a lot of writings have copyrights on. Look, my logo, Quality Control Inspection Services, has a trademark and copyright on it.
Yeah, it can be copyrighted because of the simple fact that the distributor is actually distributing and both printing the book. You see where I'm at?
And what Brother King is going with the copyright, how can it be God's words? And that's the answer he's looking for, because a lot of us say the Bible comes from God.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Sigma, if we had a time machine and we can hop in that puppy, we can probably get those answers. Just like the answers of why is there pyramids though on multiple planets? Okay, let's get that answer too. Okay, because you know there are pyramids on multiple planets, right? So let's get that answer also too out the way.
I mean, that's, you know what I mean. That's a tough one.
Hey.
But brother King's got he's got a point. Even though we believe in it, he's wondering, did God really say those words? And I've always wondered that myself. Not that I don't believe in the Bible, because I do, but
Sure.
it goes by, did God actually say those words? That's what he's
Correct.
looking for. That's something that we really have to look at. And basically, one
Yes.
person can't just copy and paste and start selling it without permission or paying dues. That's something else. But here is Angels Don't Fall. I am the tribe Gad, bearer of Jesus Christ, our Savior, Lord of Lords, the biggest outlaw rebel of all time in history, and the strongest endurer ever. Celine says there's also the Tyndale and the Geneva Bible, which closely aligns to the King James Version 1611. And Brother Sigma says the British Crown owns it. So he must have looked something up that I didn't see. And it's always good to question everything, even as Christians.
Well, sure, yes. Yes, that's what us red pillars
Well-
do. Is not only we question, but we dig for the truth all the time. We're always digging, you know.
Yeah.
So I have a note here from digitalcommons.law that says concludes that the printed KJV Bible is not sufficiently original from the public domain version, which means that it basically doesn't, but that the NKJV Bible is sufficiently original, likely has a thin copyright ascribed to it, and would only be protected against verbatim copying. Says a complete copyright notice is not required for KJV, but the initials KJV must appear at the end of any quotation. But that's just for context and respect of the version being, different, because there's all these different versions now.
Isaiah recognizes it's a scripted book. So
All
I'd like to
books,
see proof. I want to see proof. I want to see physical proof, not what somebody looked up on Wikipedia.com. Man, I want to see
all
proof.
books are scripted.
Shit.
All books are
Nowadays,
scripted.
Because nowadays, man, people can put anything on the internet, man, based off opinion and unpopular belief, man. And all it takes is a percentage of the people to believe something, man, or not believe it, man. That's all it boils down to.
now, brother Guy King, and shout out to him. He's been a long listener of mine, and just like I was his. Every printed Bible has a copyright owner, and that owner is not the Most High. Now, he's got a point there.
Yeah, people would be messing around trying to make claim over the
Yeah, they
word of
do.
God.
Yeah, they will, because you got to remember at the end of the day, the Bible been out way before the internet been out, man.
Yeah,
So
how
if
long-
they're making new versions with different interpretations or things removed or things added, they're already messing around a little too much. Anyway,
Right. So I see Brother King's point there. That is true. That is true, because most of us know the King James Version, but there are other versions of the Bible, and they are. And denominations, you never know, they might be using different they're using the Bible, but they could be using different versions of the Bible, and they're telling you that's God. Angels Don't Fall says the Jehovah's formerly Jehovah's Witnesses, print their transmutation from the Witch Tower Babel and Trick Reality Tax Exempt and Free Laborers Organization, or JW Horde Cult. Yes, there you have a watch. I know the Jehovah's Witness, and that's something that I don't get into Jehovah's Witnesses.
You don't want to get in that, man. Don't go down that rabbit hole.
No.
he said no.
I had a couple of them walk up on me when I was trying to paint a house.
Here we go. Here we go.
I ended up asking them why I would follow them to a man who's going to lead me to a Jesus I already follow.
And you know, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I was in the military, they don't believe in the military. They don't believe in the holidays. There's some terrible stories of Jehovah's who tried to leave. They have lost their families and everything. So basically, the Jehovah's is a cult. And see, that's the thing about religion. Like, remember, let's go back to 1978, Jim Jones in Guyana.
Yeah.
Well, see, and David Koresh, and the problem with religion as well is you had some individuals who thought they were leaders, but remember, you're not supposed to worship another man.
Correct.
But some people were worshiping people like Jim Jones and David Koresh, and they found out later on that they were really false prophets.
Correct. Correct. And that's the part about the Bible that I strongly bang with a drum and still really believe to this day. Because, hell, there's been signs for years, man. Conspiracy theorists and false prophets. Those are the two big ones, man. They predicted, oh my God, the world is going to end. You know, God is coming. They predicted all this crap, man. And after this stuff happens so many times, goddamn, man, you just get to the point, man, that, you know what? People are full of shit. They are. One guy, man, I think one summer, shit, how old was I? Man, I think I was like 20, I want to say 23, 24 years old. That motherfucker set up here and made like $7 million, man. I was selling caps, man, and T-shirts and all types of shit online, man. And the world was coming in, Jesus coming. And so when nothing came, goddamn, man, he clocked in like $7 million, man. Like, they had that shit on the news, whatever, man. And then, yeah, he hit town, he was gone. And then they had like another one at the year 2000, right? That something was going to happen. I mean, it was always something happening or whatever, right? And I sit up here and I tell these idiots and these conspiracy theories, man, you guys cannot predict the inevitable. If something's going to happen, something's going to happen. If you get outside in that car right now and go drive to the store and do whatever you got to do, you cannot predict that. So when you get in that car, you might have a heart attack and wreck that vehicle, or you might get into a wreck, man, or just simply going outside and sliding down them steps and boom, and just kill yourself. You know, things is going to happen. It's going to happen, but you can't predict it on your own, man. The only thing that you can do is be prepared for the inevitable. Right. And that's the truth.
Now, Angels Don't Fall calls it New World Translation, Nation, Lucifer of the Unholy Scriptures. And Celine says you definitely need to be careful of especially church cults that look normal on the outside but are controlling beyond reason. Thankfully, I have a good church. I go, but I vet church groups. That you really do. Now, me, I don't go, and I haven't gone since 1989. And as a man, it's because the black church has gotten very feminized. And
yes, especially today. I stopped going. I used to go to church hardcore, man. Bring people in cars, man. Encourage everybody and shit. Until this would really red pill me about church. When there was a church I attended. Now, this story I'm gonna tell you guys, it didn't happen while I was there. It happened prior to me being there. Whatever was the pastor who had a gambling problem, and like the wife was actually sleeping, right, with a few of the deacons in the damn church, man. You know, yeah, like First Lady and shit, man. That shit red pilled me when also too, when it came to pay like the mortgage, man, and they were short on mortgage money every month because the pastor had a gambling problem. I said no more. And then when I started seeing like the Baptist churches, right, this what really got me. I was attending these Baptist churches, and me and my daughter, we had gotten in a position where we needed some assistance for certain things. And it's like pulling teeth to try to get the assistance. But every time it was always the Catholics and the Mormons, right? If I needed assistance on just something, they'll come through just like that. Didn't know me for anything, right? They came through just like that for whatever I needed, man. And I said, it got me to question, the black churches, the Pentecostals, the Baptists or what have you, and then I started questioning, the Catholics, and then I started questioning, the Mormons and so on and so forth or whatever. And it kind of red pilled me to the point of, it's like, man, I think it was Chris Rock that said that shit, man, that he started going to all these churches, man, and trying to figure out who he was and all this stuff, right? And all these Muslim temples and all this, to the point you just get to the point you're like, fuck it, man, and just stop attending. And when you stop attending but look from afar and see what's going on, you start seeing things for what it is, man. Like the pastors are pocketing money. It's like a real hustle. I started seeing the pastors like pimps and shit, man. They were dressed up in clean suits. I was looking at things when I took the red pill, man. I was looking at things totally different, man. And I like see the dark truth of what's really going on. But I could go really deep down that rabbit hole. I was just giving you kind of like a briefing, man, because it's real out there.
Right. Angels Don't Fall. The Freemason Charles Taz Russell, the Joseph Smith of the Jehovah's, said himself, religion is a racket. And that's his own words. And Brother Isaiah recognized that's why they call script cures a script. Angels Don't Fall. The newest version, yes, the newest version of their Bible, they took out Jesus' name like 6 times. And
wow.
Celine, I was in a Facebook group for Baptists, and they were extremely controlling. So that's why I really vet church groups now to see if they are crazy. Isaiah recognized pastors say, you've got to believe what's in the middle of the word. Believe is lie.
Yeah, be lie v. Be lie v.
That is definitely facts. And well, with all this, going to keep me out of the church for a little bit now.
I'm just saying. I mean, look. I mean, that's why I said. But it's like, that's why I said the red. You could get red pilled on many levels of this shit, man, or whatever, right? It really kind of depends on how you really take it, because like I said, I mean, from when I seen that football player, right? He wasn't a football player, he was a basketball player, and he was about to get married at the pulpit or whatever. Go look this shit up on YouTube, man. You can share your screen on this shit. And he actually left his wife at the pulpit because they were supposed to go ahead and actually get married, but kind of find out she didn't sign a prenuptial agreement that he asked. You understand? And what the woman did, she did some crooked shit. Instead of going to the church that they both agreed upon, she went to a church that she wanted to go to with her pastor, right? That was going to anoint them other God. And he's like, look, wedding's off. She didn't sign a prenup, ready is off. And the pastor said, how come you want to destroy this wedding, man? This is a really good wedding. Why don't you just go ahead and get married? And he said, look, this woman's supposed to sign a prenup, but this is under the house of God. This is what God wants. God is giving you a sign. God's giving you a sign. He said, you right. God's giving you a sign right now not to marry that woman. Because she wasn't out there, though, right? When I was sitting up there, right, doing hurdles on the court, sweating, dripping, right, getting yelled at coaches and all that stuff, right? Now, the fact, though, right, the weddings come and she want to sign a prenup, I don't think so. Yeah, he left her out the altar. And she went in the room, started crying, and then she turned around. Okay, I'll get married. But he was smart. He read the law, and he said, no, I can't go ahead and have you sign this prenup, because if I have you sign this prenup right now, it'll be signed under arrest, because it'll seem like that I've pressured you. So now I just don't want to be with you at all. That was smart as fuck. You understand? She knew what the hell she was doing, you know, and the pastor did too. The pastor was in on it. You see what I mean?
I see
It's
where
a
you're at.
great society out here, you guys. That's why I tell these guys on my channel, don't get married, don't get with single moms. And if you're going to date a North American woman, man, you make sure you take the precautions that you need to protect your wallet, protect your seed, protect your assets, and protect your property. I'm just telling you this shit, man. And especially you young guys out there. I hope you guys are listening, man, because I want you guys to be successful out there. But don't be taking these damn risks out here, right? That's going to put you in situations, though, where long term you're like, oh my God, I did. Short term, you're like, oh, I did it for God and God loves me. And then long term, she divorces your ass. She got 50 to 90% of everything you worked for and earned. And she did no work investment to help you get into that situation. It's crazy out here, you guys. So yeah, these laws work in these women's favor. So hey.
Right. Shout out to my boy, my brother Guy King. And this is true. Belief often contradicts logic. Brother Cortez, the divorce ain't going to be under the house of God. Angels don't fall. I grew up Jehovah and was gang stalked and gaslighted, singled out,
Wow.
accused of all kinds of absurd shit.
Wow.
I learned manners and respect. Their Bible, the Bible, KJV. I left at age 16.
Man, wow. Angels is telling the truth. I heard multiple people say the same thing about the Jehovah's, the same stuff. You just summed it up, and she just summed it up in like he or she, I don't know who that is, summed it up in like one paragraph, man. I've heard multiple stories of the same stuff. Crazy, sad, man.
Shout out, and this is a good brother of mine, Guy King, known as Sigma American. The Bible itself states that the Spirit of the Most High is not found in the buildings of man. You know, he is right about that, because the Bible doesn't mention anything about church. It talks about assembly, not church. And Sigma, that's right. The Holy Spirit abides in every person who has put their full faith in Christ, and where two or more believers are gathered, Jesus is in the midst of them. And my brother Guy King, but the letter J did not exist at that time. Therefore, whoever was in whatever story was not named Jesus. Angels don't fall. I'm glad you were able to get out while you were young. Yeah. What do they call Jesus without the J? Yah. That's what they call him. That's who the Most High is. Yah. So I know where Brother Guy King was coming, because you know who the original Hebrews were? They were black people, I believe.
Yeah.
They'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And, well, they don't preach that in church.
Yeah, like my boy Eddie Griffin. Shout out to him, comedian from Kansas City, Missouri, man. And this is what he said. He said, "Man, hair of wool." He said, "When's the last time you see some wool hair do like this?" I was like, "Damn." When last time you see some hair just go around and wrap around like? I was like, wow, that was some real ass shit though. When they said in the Bible, man, he said he had hair of wool. You ain't seen no hair just wrap around like that.
And he had rustic feet. He had rustic feet. So
yeah.
Jesus, he wasn't white like everybody perceived.
Trying to tell you. Yeah.
And see,
I know they give a lot of description of John the Baptist and of Esau, the brother of Jacob, the man who became Israel after wrestling with God. They described him as really hairy. I don't remember a whole lot of description, in the Bible of what Jesus looked like. But I do know they said that in the Bible it said that after his own people got done with him, he didn't even look like a man.
Yeah.
Wow, Angels is going in today. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say this. Look in the book of Revelations, verse 14 to 15, that tells you what Jesus looked like. It's in there. Book of Revelation, and I believe that's in the New Testament. Chapter 1, verse 14, 15.
Yeah, that's the last supposedly chapter of the book.
Right.
I mean, the last book inside the book. I'm sorry.
That's in the New Testament.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the last book inside the Bible.
Because it does mention that he was dark. Does mention that.
I'm
And
trying
see,
to tell you.
I guarantee you, a lot of people don't read that either.
Yeah.
Angels don't fall. Had pussy flowing like floodgates. Were released as a kid, going to the kingdom hell of the Jehovah's that didn't witness shit, or what Donovan calls the pussy pleasure palace.
Yeah.
Brother
I
Isaiah.
told you there was a lot of people that said exactly what they're saying. Like, I've heard famous celebrities just came out about the Jehovah's Witness, like never again. Like, for real. They said like the most cruelest, awfulest things, man, on the planet, man. And
wow.
I thought there's a time I started thinking that people are just saying this just to get attention and shit. But when you start digging a little bit more deeper, and like famous celebrities are coming out saying like similar shit or whatever, it's like crazy, like, okay, apparently something's really going on that's inappropriate in that organization, crazy.
Now, Brother Isaiah recognized biblical instruction before leaving Earth is what the abbreviation is. So that means they want to get rid of you while they are planning the script to remove creation. And he also says, who said you were supposed to leave Earth? God or man? 100% man. Facts. We gods, we don't leave. That's a fact. And angels don't fall. 144K is equal numbers from every nation in the tribes that are the qualifying tribes on the checklist. And my boy Guy King, damn, that cold divorce, not in the house of God.
Trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you, can't make this shit up. And I hope some of you guys are not in there 7-day Adventists, man. I heard of nightmares of them too, right? It was always the Jehovah's Witness and the 7-day Adventists, man. I've always heard of the religion nightmares from, man, the most. Like, it was like a fucking shit show, man. Like, every time, famous people, regular people, they end up leaving and bouncing, man, for like all types of really cruel reasons.
I'm going to go and I'm going to look at history and show you all what I've discovered in the History Channel here about if I can get it, with Jesus. Let me blow it up. Here's what it says for many scholars. Revelation chapter 1, verses 14, 15 offer a clue that Jesus' skin was a darker hue and that his hair was woolly in texture. The hairs of his head, it says, were white as white wool, white as snow. His eyes were like a flame of fire. His feet were like burnished bronze, refined as in a furnace. And other than that, says we don't know what Jesus looked like, but if all things that we do know about him are true, he was a Palestinian Jewish man living in Galilee in the 1st century, says Robert Cargill, assistant professor of classics and religious studies at the University of Iowa and editor of Biblical Archaeology Review. So he would have looked like a Palestinian Jewish man of the 1st century. He would have looked like a Jewish Galilean. So that's what he would have he would have looked like. And again, Brother Guy King is right. The letter J is fairly a new letter. It's not old. That's why we know the Most High as Yah, or Yahweh. We call him Yah. So,
Wow.
so there's a lot to know that I don't know, and for the most part, when it comes to the Bible, and I'll go back to my poll question. My poll question out of 35 votes, is the Bible an outdated book? 29% said yes. 71% said no. So,
And I got a question for you pertaining to the topic. You know, it's a little bit off the topic, but it's on topic. Okay. So, all right. So you said on many occasions on your other video, you're talking about Christian women are hypocritical.
I did say that. And
Yeah, okay.
And actually, Brother Guy King said that as well. He had it on his video a long time. He was the first. He said it before I said it. He had a video a long time ago, and then I just followed up with it.
Wow. Can you deep dive into it briefly for us? Why do you believe that they're hypocritical? Because I mean, that's really a good point, man. You know, I've seen them, man. I've seen them be more. I see more hypocritical, man, than anybody I've probably have ever seen in that church, man. They're probably, if just says, probably more hypocritical than the goddamn pastor. Man.
Well,
like, for real, you know.
Well, here's why I say they're hypocritical. They, number one, they hide behind the Bible, and they're looking for a surrogate father and a husband, and that is the pastor. That's why when it comes to finding a man, and this, I've been to mostly black churches. In a black church, the congregation, which is mainly women, they always say God will find her a husband, even if she's had babies out of wedlock. Now, you know it doesn't work like that. And when it comes to leadership, they don't read the part about the man being the head, or I don't use the word submission, but the daughter of Zion, they don't follow their husband. I was getting into that. That's what it says in the Bible. The Bible says the man is supposed to you honor thy husband and you love the wife. You know, that you know, it's all kinds of things in that Bible that they don't follow. And what the pastor does, he may go and manipulate different passages in that Bible to suit his congregation, and then his congregation gets brainwashed by what the pastor is saying. So she really believes that she is preaching the truth in the Bible when it isn't from the Bible. It's just propaganda or manipulation. That's why I say they're hypocrites. And hypocrites because they don't practice what they preach.
Correct. And see, one thing I liked about Kevin Samuels, I'll touch on him a bit, and he said something really powerful. He said I think he's originally from Oklahoma, but he said something powerful. Right. And you're old school. You probably remember this probably way before I was even born, but check this out. There was a time in the churches where if there was a woman that had like multiple kids by multiple kids' dads out of wedlock, right, they would actually get shamed really bad in the church, right? Nowadays, right, you got them coming in and sit on the front pews, man, with all their kids, right, just sitting right there, right, or whatever, right? And he was going in talking about, you know, basically why like the men really left the church. And it's like the church has been totally feminized to the point, right? It's like, you can't be the man that you are. You understand? You know, without being critiqued or criticized or putting these women on the pedestal. And in the church now is like, well, it's okay to go ahead and have all these multiple kids by multiple kids' dads, rather than question her, you know, put her through some counseling or something or whatever, right? They're just encouraging this bad behavior.
And that's why
what's the point of the man attending? What's the point?
Well, that's why I said it's hypocritical, and Angel
Yeah.
Stonefall says, yeah, my mother knows and still can't break away from the family brotherhood that's stronger bonded than actual family. And, you have a lot of individuals who are drinking. You have pastors who drink at bars. They go to church. They're
He
telling
breaking
me
it
not to
down.
do
He
it.
said at bars down.
Well, they are. I went to school at Virginia Union
Wow.
in
I mean, I
Richmond,
see some
Virginia.
crooked stuff. Now you breaking it down. You said drinking and at bar. You seen it like
Let's just be honest.
that should really red pill you, man. Like, no, I'll never. Oh.
We'll see with church. I'm not one that goes in and jumps up and down and starts stepping and getting the Holy Ghost like that. The Holy Ghost, no, I think some of that is phony to me.
Yeah.
Here's it's all to get people interested in the church, but you're not really learning anything. I mean, because let's just be honest.
Yes.
A number of people who go, they want to hear the preacher preach.
You think? Yeah,
But
you
the
think it's more of
preacher's
an attention whoring aspect?
Right, but the preacher is supposed to get the word from God and then preach it to his congregation. That's what's
Correct.
supposed to happen. But it's not. It's mainly the preacher is inflexing his voice to get the congregation charged so they'll get moving so they don't fall asleep. It's true, because I know when I went to a Catholic church, because I was brought up in a Catholic church, you did aerobics all day, sit, stand, and kneel, get your communion. You walk down there with the cross. Now the good thing about it, it was an hour and a half and I was out of there. But you go to the Negro churches, you might be sitting there 3 hours. And
You'll be in there easily 4 hours, man. Like the Baptist church, I do respect that I did go to. Here we got the Kansas City Chiefs here. The pastor was real, right? And he was a white pastor. It was a diverse church. He said, listen, you guys, when he came up, look, Chiefs game starts at this. This is how much time it gives me to leave, get on the road. And this is how much time it gives me to get something to eat out of the fridge, something to drink, and get in front of the ball game. I'm going to be straight to the point. I'm going to cut straight to as much as I can. I'm going to get the word in. We're going to pray, and I'm out of here. That's it. And I was like, whoa. And that's what made me start coming. Like, he was very, very pragmatic, very logical, man. Like, it made perfect sense because he's like, hey, man. And then some days he'll come in and he said, look, I don't want to be long because I can't have you guys fall asleep in here. And I got stuff to do. I know you do too.
Well, most people don't. So what I'm going to do,
he was like taking everybody's situation in consideration. Like, it was so fair. My daughter liked it there too. He had a daycare in there and everything.
Right.
So yeah.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to get ready to shut this down. I'm at the 3-hour mark. Read this last comment. Angels don't fall. Also grew up without seeing race per se, knowing and being well aware of its agendas and being against the beliefs. No racist bullshit allowed in. JW, it's Satan gameplay, tactics to murder, cyber toxin. I just need you to give me your final comments of the day as I get ready to shut it down. I'm at 3 hours. It's 9:55 here, almost 10 o'clock Eastern.
Well, one thing I forgot to say earlier when I was talking about men's baser lusts, on the violence end of it,
Yes.
one of the biggest components, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this because that's why I started rambling about it. One of the biggest components of violence is fear, not cowardice. Because, without fear, there isn't even bravery. There'd be no opportunity for it. Bravery is an action in the presence of fear. Like love is an action in the presence of hurt feelings or whatever. But fear is one of the biggest components in violent behavior. And that's something that sells better than sex. So I appreciate you letting me on the panel tonight, man.
All right. Hey,
and having discussion.
You can come back anytime, and I've also seen you on Nate's panel. He'll be live tomorrow. And shout out to you, brother Cyber Toxin. And
Oh, would you drop his link in the chat? I haven't been subscribed to him since he got shot down last time.
yeah,
I didn't know he started another one.
yeah, Nate Dog 74. Hold on one moment, I'll get it for you.
And it's good to meet. It's good to meet you, Mr. Cyber.
Yes, sir. Mr. G, I appreciate you. I enjoyed listening to you guys talk.
There is Nate's channel. Mr. G, you can also plug your channel in. You got a wrench, so you can plug your channel into the chat too. And
yeah, I'll plug it in on the comment section when the stream ends. Because I'm not gonna. I got a device I'm on where I'm not able to do it.
All right.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you for coming up there, brother Cybertoxin.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put you down. He put himself down. And the daughter of Zion, Yahshua Christ, would not even recognize present day pagan Christianity. Black women should have followed our black men out of the church instead of making the pastor their man. That's facts. And everyone else should have too, unless you're one of those who came from a lizard, fish, or a monkey, ape, or better yet, thin air. My blood bleeds the color red. My race is human. Facts. And brother Isaiah, the universe gave you all you need when male and female energy. God came to oneness on this plane. We don't need a religion to tell our existence. Evil feeds on fear. We are descendants of primordials. We're brothers and sisters too. Angels don't fall, says God bless. Now, you're up last, brother. Your final comments.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you for bringing me once again on the panel, man. My apologies, like I said, about the late attendance. I had things going
That's
on
all
with my
right,
kids.
brother.
Yeah, So, but anyway, I just want to tell you guys, yes, I did my homework. I'm still not finished with my homework on The Chi. Okay, so I did watch episode 1. I got through it, man. There was some mass killing in episode 1. It was like a triple down effect. I was like crazy, but I'm still in episode season 1, and in the episode, so I'm still finishing up. My little bit of a homework and everything. Watching The Chi.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk a little bit about that tonight, but I didn't. I just wanted to get into this pride. Now, during my monologue, I'll sum it up.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm watching like a couple series. I'm watching the Blacklist. Blacklist is a cold series. If you ever want to watch it, it's on Netflix, man. It's cold. It's cold. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a cold-blooded movie, right? If you like, action, FBI, stuff like that, yeah. But no, you guys, thank you for bringing me on the panel. I hope you guys please go to my channel, Men's Daily Advice and Encouragement channel. That is called the Men's Daily Advice and Encouragement channel. Okay, where I talk about red pill, MGTOW content, female nature, conversations that women do not want us to talk about in general, right? And also too, giving guys advice and encouragement on how to be the best man that they need to be in their life, and encourage them to getting their passports, getting the money together, getting the schedule, and traveling across the globe. You don't have to settle for the North American women's behavior. The world is our oyster. Remember, as men, we built the globe, okay? And we got access to the globe too. We don't have to be limited to just North America. We can travel around this globe as much as we want. But anyway, 411, thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing me on the stream. I hope everything is successful for you. And also, too, thank you guys in the chat, though, right? You guys have some really good comments in there. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming up. Shout out to Brother Men's Daily. Get to his channel, like, share, and subscribe. He's got good content. And I just like to say thank you to the chat as well. You had some good comments. Before I go, let me have one final poll here. 37 votes. The question is the Bible an outdated book? 30% said yes, 70% said no. Now, basically, to sum everything up, and thank you, brother Isaiah, recognize. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you, Cyber Toxin. Good to see you up here. Brother Isaiah, not slaves. Everybody's spiritual walk is personal. We are original people on this planet. Facts. Everybody have a blessed evening. Now my monologue. I came up with the topic because I know that I've been seeing a lot about this Pride Month. The Pride Month features all the individuals who are involved with the alphabet lifestyle. Now, some of the items that the alphabet lifestyle were looking for, talking about equality, love, and respect. Okay. Now, I said this a moment ago. Respect is something that you earn. I don't have a problem with what you do as adults. But when you bring children into the mix, that's a big problem. Our children are already corrupted with social media, with the education system, with religion, with other people just over sexualizing them when they need to be children. There is a lot of dysfunction out there. So trying to recruit children into your lifestyle is an abomination to me. And then a number of individuals who are part of the alphabet community claim that they believe in God. But how can you believe in God when the Bible states that what you are doing is an abomination? Now, again, if you go and repent, you'll be forgiven of your sins. That's what the Bible says. Now, again, I'm not a scholar. I'm just using something that a number of individuals don't have today, and that's called common sense. And see what has happened in this culture. Common sense has eroded for the sake of what people are feeling. And what people are feeling isn't reality. And when you don't think with logic, you end up being impulsive with emotions. And I've always said emotions cloud critical thinking. Now, talking about the Bible, there are a lot of interpretations when it comes to the Bible. But one thing that I do know, the Bible's been around for a long time. It's not going away anytime soon. I mean, 2,000 years or so it's been around. Our laws are set up from the Bible. But in the end, it's the one who actually has faith that that Bible is going to help them through life's ups and downs. Ones who are secular, they don't believe in the Bible. That's fine. But I'm going to tell you this. If you are part of the alphabet movement, I'm not telling you what to do with your lifestyle. However, you're going to have to accept pushback from people who disagree with you. And the problem I have with any group, whether they're from the LGBTQ plus, or they're feminists, or they're blacks, any minority who believes they've been suppressed because life hasn't assured them equity, but they're talking about equality. Well, first of all, equality has never existed. It will never exist. Equal opportunity is what you make of it. Some have to work a little harder to get the opportunity. But that opportunity comes from here. As a person, I can't motivate another person. You have to motivate yourself. And in order to motivate yourself, you have to not be a victim. Anytime I see any of these groups complain about what they're not getting, that's a sign that they want to be victims. And a victim is one that's going to use any type of excuses not to achieve. Now, again, life isn't fair. But what you can do to help yourself out is navigate yourself through society to see how it works. You cannot depend on the government to change your life. You have to depend on you to change your life. And in the end, when it comes to religion, religion is something that's about faith. Everybody doesn't believe in the same religion, but there's one common item with religion. There's a superior being. And after the body is gone, your spirit is uplifted to a higher power. But the only way you're going to get to that higher power is you have to repent your sins and you have to have faith in that higher power. And that higher power is not a man. So, with the case of the Bible, you have to believe in that word. The Bible is not going to bring you materialism. It's about faith. And if you have faith, it's going to be much easier to overcome your fears. Because as a human being, too many of us believe other human beings. But if you want to get to the next level in life, you got to be responsible for yourself. Being responsible is you forgive others and you repent. We're all sinners. But the Bible is a book that has a lot of information. Many of us don't read it because we don't understand it. But if you dig deep into the Bible, it actually tells you what's going on today, although that book was put out many, many years ago. So in the end, when it comes to your life, it's up to us to manage our lives. Now, I'm not judging the alphabet community. But what I'm saying to them is, from my humble opinion, sexuality doesn't require equality. Sexuality is a preference. Therefore, you don't need a month to tell me that I need to tolerate you, respect you, love you. Just like a feminist, I don't need to hear the womanist crap. That's not going to move me. If you want individuals who don't agree with you to tolerate you, then you're going to have to tolerate people who don't agree with you. In the long run, true equality is understanding the basics, and that's common sense. And when I'm talking about common sense, I mean the world has never been equal. It will never be equal. So what I'm saying is, you as an individual have to understand the truth, whether you like it or not. Why? Because the truth will always set you free. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some educational material, check out my second channel, the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind the STEM channel. The slogan is still the same. On that channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Currently, I'm on a construction project in Frankfort, Indiana, and I'm out in the field, and I'm performing inspection and showing you construction operations that are taking place on a road project. Now, if you cannot find me on YouTube, you can check me out on Twitter. And with the QCIS channel, I take it one step further. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I put the QCIS channel on LinkedIn because it's an educational channel, and LinkedIn is a professional social media site. And at the end of the day, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Now, for individuals who were offended by this content, it's not to offend you. It's to give you a point of view that you're going to disagree with, or you'll think about the way you're living. So, I'm going to leave you with this little slogan. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. Once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.